to like Bo is Afraid, where he gained a bunch of weight. Mostly in the scrote.
Beautiful. Yeah, we are live. Mostly scrote.
And then
It's got a proud.
And then went back to losing a bunch of weight for Joker. What is it?
Folie à Deux.
Man, I thought they were only going to do the one Joker movie, huh? What happened there?
Money.
Oh, is that what happened?
Hollywood has this thing where when something makes
Don't worry,
money,
though.
they want to do more of it.
It's a musical, right? The musical
it has a lot of
review.
musical aspects to it, yeah. 1 second, everybody.
Oh, great. We're already 2 minutes late. Take all the time you need.
We're 3
Gotta
minutes
send
late.
out the X.
You know, you're exactly right. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm Xing an X right now.
There's
Why?
in some places
Why?
3 X's and it's game over.
Game over, man.
What's that? What happened behind you? A little rearrange?
Man, this guy notices everything.
Something's a
You
little.
are right.
I don't know what happened, but something's different.
You're right. That's right. I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Really? I mean, I don't know if it's
Really?
something worthy of talking about.
You are something else, man. Hey, here's this thing. I'm going to talk about it. Okay, I will engage your conversation. I don't know if we need it.
No, I just asked what is changed. Maybe I'll learn about it during the podcast.
I don't know if we need to hear about it.
Right? 3, 2, 1. GoNintendo Podcast. Episode 923. The Pawmot Podcast. Mom, Brain, really tell us about Pawmot, please.
Oh, wearing Kermit, talking about Pawmot.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Kermit the Frog.
I'm busy.
Kermit the Cowboy
Pawmot.
Frog.
M-O-T, so Pawmot. This Pokemon normally is slow to react, but once it enters battle, it will strike down its enemies with lightning fast movements.
Lightning bolt.
2 feet 11 inches tall, 90 pounds and change. They're male and female, and the category is hands-on. Abilities include Natural Cure, wherein the...
What?
Are you done?
There's an offline message there, and I was making sure things were connected. As you see, bottom left-hand corner.
It says online.
Well, it just said offline.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Yep.
I was looking here where it also says. Whatever.
You did this. I was just looking. You had to get all fussy about it. Sorry.
I felt uncomfortable for you, Mom Brain.
Thanks.
Why?
Over the
Because I was
shoulder.
looking at my own phone.
Well, no, I thought you were like reading over her shoulder, like about to tell her how wrong she is about
It's
Pawmot.
my phone.
Yeah, well, that's just even weirder.
It's my
Look
life.
at this guy looking at his own phone.
Well, here, take it back.
No. Please, Mom Brain, inform us.
Man, this guy was really slow to react, but then he attacked with lightning speed.
Abilities include Natural Cure, wherein the Pokemon status conditions are cured when it switches out, and Volt Absorb. If hit by an electric type move, the Pokemon has its HP restored instead of taking damage. I love the sweetness. This is the end of the Pokemon section.
That was for you. I thought I'd sneak that in there for you.
Thank you. That's
Is
very
that what
nice.
you were looking at?
Nope.
Oh,
I was
she's not
looking
there
at
yet.
Where it says offline.
She's
I'll
not
show
there
you. See? Bottom left-hand corner. Offline.
End of Pokemon section.
Thanks, Mom Brain. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mom Brain is here.
She sure is.
How are you, Mom Brain?
I'm good. I got a little bit of a headache, but otherwise I'm good.
Nicky Hill is here. How are you, Nicky Hill?
I'm good.
Deux is here.
Ooh, cool.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Josh Grobot is here, my friend from
I'm
college
here
days.
to grace you with my presence.
Thank
Oh my
you,
gosh, I
Josh.
think I see Barnaby, but I'm not sure.
Always.
I can't be 100% sure.
No, that's just a blanket and a couch. Always a pleasure to have you here, Josh. As it is George. George, how are you doing this weekend?
Molto bene.
Wow. Wow.
George, no.
George, we were we were out at the supermarket yesterday, and I was
I'll take the market.
really close. Oh, I was really close to getting a key lime pie, but I didn't. I pulled back. There was 2 slices of key lime pie, and I was like, I really want that, but it's a lot of calories. So I
I'm
didn't do it.
offended.
you're putting me out of a job.
Yeah. Oh, you make the key lime pie? I
No,
didn't know.
he makes the limes.
I carry
Oh.
the limes
Oh,
to the key lime pie
Gotcha.
factory.
I know you don't eat them. I didn't know you were supplying the factories with their limes. Well, next time I'll get it then.
He's a lime tender.
Get 2 next time.
I'll get 2. You're right. I'll
Get
have to
2
make
next
up for
time.
it. I'll make up for it. I promise. Let me say hello to people in the Discord. Hi. Yes, Mom.
Blessed Beltane or May Day
All right.
to
I'll
those
let
who
you explain
celebrate.
this in a second. Hello, Red Souza and Radical Defect, Ice, Dilbert, Kurt Dog, and maybe a dog. Roth, hello, Dew. Hello,
Hello.
Giant Reggie. Hello, did I say Ice Dilbert? Hello, Gabe Adon the Werewolf. Hello, Drake. Hello, Vachi. Hello, Gecko Kitsune. Hello, whoever else I don't see in here. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, what did I just do? I hit a button I never hit. And now everything's screwed up.
Oh man, you went offline.
Push the C button.
What happened?
Mom
Hey,
Brain,
well, hello,
Mom Brain,
Freddy
can you
Pro.
look
I'm good.
over
I'm
look
good.
over his shoulder for a second? Figure that out for him.
No, Mom Brain was looking. All right, Mom Brain,
Hey.
go ahead. Explain what your thing is.
Okay.
It's not my thing particularly, but Beltane
I swear, it's like I'm talking to 2 Nicky Hills.
is where we celebrate. We're exactly halfway between spring and summer.
Oh.
And it is, I mean, depending on, like where your beliefs lie, it's historically generally when like the god and the goddess become one in that good way. And it's a time to celebrate like fertility and prosperity and like all that goodness. It's also a time when the veil between the worlds is super thin, so it might
The
be
Veil. I
Oh
heard
my
that
gosh.
show's bad.
might be a
It's
good
a lot.
time.
Oh,
And you light a
no.
fire if you ever heard of like the Beltane fires to
Maybe.
celebrate like passion and burning.
Butane. That's butane.
Oh, got it. So it's a good time to sort of send any messages out into the other side that you'd like to be sent out. So
Bang out, prosper, and talk to ghost people.
I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that. Interestingly enough,
And
I
if
was
you light a fire, do it outside with proper supervision.
I
and
mean, you could
safety
light a
measures.
candle if that's.
I
you
did
know.
light a candle
Also,
today.
with
Well, it
did
was sent
you,
today. It was
did
the
you
first.
blow it out before you left?
Oh, I did.
That's bell time, baby.
There you go. Also, funny enough, I was in the backyard after dark on Beltane, and I lit a fire, and the neighbor was doing something out in his driveway, and I was like, he's gonna look over here and see me like out here sitting by a fire with an altar and in the dark and wonder what's going on. And then I thought, let him wonder.
Oh, you had like an altar? Like you had like
I have
an
one,
offering?
like a little one. Yeah. So, he probably went inside and was like, she's wackadoodle.
She's trying.
Watch it. Watch it. Thought you were gonna curse there.
She's,
No,
uh,
she's
No.
She's trying to get that their old cat back, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
And what were you
R.I.P.
doing,
connection.
RMC, while she was attuning with Mother Nature's church?
sitting with the cat on my lap.
Oh, that's a
That's what I was
nice.
doing.
Inside.
Inside, yes.
I mean,
That's nice.
we don't go outside.
And then
In
then
the
some fire
house.
trucks went by and the cat got scared and
Oh,
I got
no.
scared and then that was
And
that.
Maggie laughed. She's such a
Probably
little
going to put
trooper.
out some Beltane fire. Beltane?
Beltane.
Butane.
Beltane.
Soul
Also,
Train.
May the 4th be with you.
Coltrane.
Is
And
that
all-
today?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is today. Also,
Yeah.
happy Free Comic Day. That's
And-
also today.
And happy
How do I get one of
Quattro
those?
de Cinco? Or Cinco de Quattro? Which one
How
does
do
it go?
you
I
get
never
free
remember which
comics?
one it is.
Yeah.
You just go to your local comic store,
The-
or I believe
from-
Barnes and Noble's doing it too, and they have a whole slew of free comics.
It's probably not, hey, can
No,
I
but
get
it's-
Freerin? It's like, here's,
Oh.
Yes, they say before.
I don't have like Superman #1 or something.
No. They say before what's going to be up for grabs. And there were some
If
Marvel has been saying what they're doing, and some of Nintendo's stuff is also.
if there's Alligator Loki, I'm in.
You hear about that story?
No, I didn't. I was just saying it because I liked an Alligator Loki once. It wasn't bad of me, was it?
Oh,
What
it's-
happened?
He's a racist. I'm so sorry. Here, I'll tell you.
The alligator, or
That's
the,
what I was
or the
joking about. Yeah.
cartoonist?
No. The animal actor for Alligator Loki, known as Wally, the emotional support alligator, was reportedly kidnapped from his handler while Henry was out fishing. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. Kidnapper was, quote, some jerk who likes to drop alligators into someone's yard to terrorize them.
God!
How awful.
And they have been unsuccessful in getting specific information about a location to begin the search. Even the original swamp, we were told, is so large it would take months
Oh, so
with
they
an
don't know
army
where
to
he
search.
is.
He's still missing. That is correct.
Somebody kidnapped him and dropped him in someone's yard and then left and was like, that was funny.
Yes.
How awful is that?
The person who used to own Wally said, we need all the help we can get to bring my baby back. There's a reward out for Wally's return safely with no
poor
questions
Wally.
asked. Please help
Die,
us.
monster!
I don't know how it works, but I hope Wally can hold his own out there. Like, I don't know if a domesticated. I don't know how that
think
works.
everything I read was very much like Wally cannot hold his own out
Oh,
there
Yeah,
because
like,
it's
no.
domesticated.
like a cat or a dog
was
that's
like,
been
I
living
forgot-
inside their whole
Don't
life,
quote
right?
me. It was like Wally's favorite food is like Cheetos or something.
Oh my
like
God.
it's bad. Yeah. So
I can't even believe that.
We got to get Street Bread Sally down there to hunt out all the stuff for
Well,
Wally.
did he disappear
There'll be
with
an unstoppable
bread?
team.
'Cause we might not be able. She might not
Yes.
be able to help us unless he's
Wally's
got
favorite
like.
food
a
is
loaf in his
cheese
mouth.
puffs. I checked it out. The gator is 7 years old.
Oh, man.
What? Like,
They have never attacked anyone or shown any aggression towards anything.
Well, it's because they ripped out all its teeth.
That's why they
They
eat
rotted
cheese
Not
out.
puffs.
not
'cause-
capable. Like no one was ever there to teach him a death roll or anything, right? That's what that is.
That's right, the death roll. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen Mom Brain do a death roll a couple times. It almost happened today. I think.
what do you mean?
When you're in bed and you get all fussy about like getting up and you don't want to get out, you're like, and you start fussing and rolling around. Tell me it's not true. Exactly. Okay, we have some stuff to talk about before the Patreon post, and then with top stories, there's actually a good amount of top stories this week too. So we got a jam-packed episode. Let's start.
Wait, I just want to clarify. It's a
Oh.
Cinco de Cuatro. That's from Arrested Development when they Cinco de Mayo.
And might I
Cinco de
add,
Mayo was too rowdy, so they started the celebration so that people could celebrate on the 4th of May, and then the 5th of May will be quieter, but then the 4th of May is just the loud, rowdy party.
Oh, there you go. Red Souza has got. Red Souza picked up 6 comics for Free Comic Book Day.
I thought you said it's one.
Free Comic
It's
Book Day.
free.
What are you talking about?
So you get your one free
Is
comic.
this a joke?
You just said get your free comic.
Well,
And
if I
Red
said
Souza's out here
comic,
getting 6.
if I said comic, I misspoke.
that was a
yeah,
joke,
there's
man.
multiple. You get like 30 free comics today.
But
not
they're
from
specific.
one store.
Yeah, what is going on here? Why are you angry about that? Yes, they
No.
choose which free.
No, like I mean, is it just a day where I go in? I'll take one of everything. No, that's not how it works. So
which
clarify.
was already described with Deux during this show.
I'm sorry, I was trying to look up Cinco de
I love how I
Cuatro.
said it,
I'm
and you
sorry.
looked at me, but like, and then you said what you said, like with an angry face, and I was like, "What? It's not my day." Jeez. Yes, Red Souza got 6 free comics. What does this say? The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics, a One Piece comic, an Initial D comic, a Pokemon comic, a Snoopy comic, and a Spider-Man comic, all for Free Comic Book Day. But yes, you get more than one comic. You can take as many free comics as you want
Amazing.
that are listed as free. So multiple
Oh.
free comics.
So don't anybody try walking into a comic book store and just taking everything you
Right.
want off
That
the
is
shelf.
correct.
That's
You
what
go,
I'm- that's
I'm
what
here
I'm-
for Free Comic Book Day, and they will go, here is your selection. More
And they
likely,
say, get out of here. Nothing in life is free.
they already have a shelf set up for Free Comic Book Day, and it has all the stuff right there, and you just
It's
go grab
free.
it. But there you go, free
Yeah,
comics
you
right
bet.
there. And I said I think Barnes and Noble is doing it as well. So,
Good luck
but
finding
you
one
can
of
go
those. Am
if
I
you
right
just do a
now?
Google search for free comic book. Barnes and Noble, they're on the
around.
up. They're doing better. They're opening new locations.
Oh, the ones around
I
me,
sent-
they've downsized
I sent Mom Brain a
or
whole
consolidated. Like
Well,
multiple
you know,
into
we
one.
have factual information and we have what you see with your eyes. I sent
my
Mom
eyes
Brain-
are
we
fine,
have Deux
fine.
Views, which floats in between.
I sent Mom Brain a TikTok about
I've
how
seen that
well
before.
Barnes and Noble is doing and why they're doing so well and what's led to them like opening more stores and everything. They learned lessons. The person who's running them now like legitimately loves books and the book experience, and they're like, I know what I'm doing, so we could try this, that, and the other thing. And they're like, also, let's learn from Borders and what they did wrong or what they shouldn't have done to lead them down the path
May they
to
rest in peace.
Closure.
Well, what
So
shouldn't have they have done? Closed their stores to try to not go
They should have
bankrupt?
just sold more books.
I'll send you the TikTok, and then you'll have no more questions.
Let me guess.
Hi, Marsboro.
They started selling feet pics.
Barnes and
Or
Noble.
tucking-
Borders.
Tucking feet pics in the pages of books and then selling and then the
I'm
books
sure there
sell.
are books that are, the big book of feet pics or something, but
Funny enough, we were out with Droth last night, and she was telling us that her son, who's in 6th grade, was going to a birthday party, and she's like, all right, so like, what does the birthday boy want? And her son just looks at her dead in the eyes and goes, feet pics. And she was like, what?
a young kid
saving money there.
growing up testing the waters for
And
what the
if
parents
they have
will or
their
will
own,
not allow.
if they have their own printer, that's saving money, I guess.
Who
But,
the
I mean,
hell prints
that
stuff
was just
anymore?
like a funny joke, right? Or
It's a kid, like, knowing he's saying something that he shouldn't say, but also it's not going to get him in big trouble. You test your
right.
parents. and
Okay.
he's at
Yeah,
that
that's
age.
funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
But there's a little truth in every joke. So a couple of years down the road, you try and find porn on the internet. You can't find it because of parental filters, but you can find feet pics, and you're like, who's into this thing? And then next thing you know, you're into that thing.
Well, this generation never had to
Put
go
those
into the
rippers away.
this generation never had to go into the woods and hide their feet pics. So
It's true.
like and I'm joking about hiding the feet pics. There wasn't such a thing back then, at least with our group. So like
It was always a thing.
I'm
but
sure it
yeah,
was
it's
a
not
thing,
a widespread
but
thing.
like I guess what I'm trying to say is we were just happy to see anything. Now with everything at your fingertips, they're probably so jaded, these kids. They're probably just like, I need to see grippers, otherwise I can't get nothing for nothing.
It is yes. We grew up like our era was very different. Now, growing up as a kid, I can't imagine what it's like because you're like, what is this pornography I've heard so much about? And 2 seconds later, you're like seeing, Mr. Hands or something. You're like, holy crap, what's going on here?
Yeah, we had to ease into.
There
Mr.
you go.
Hands.
Ice Dilbert gets it. The Sears Christmas catalog, the bra section. Exactly. That's what it was like back
We
in the
had
day.
what, late night Showtime or Cinemax, and also
Cinemax.
the pay-per-view channel. If you switch it from channel 3 to 4 or something, you can kind of see some fuzzy stuff.
Not gonna lie, I had quite a few nights where I would watch the scramble thing and I'd be like, oh my god, I think that's a boob, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. But the audio was perfect on my scrambled channels. The audio was crystal clear, so I knew what people sounded like. But boy, did I have weird ideas of
Yeah,
bodies.
that's confusing.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Bless you.
I don't know what to do to get those sounds, but I know when I'm doing something right.
That's right.
It's
Still-
like it's
still
like
yet to
hot
hear
and
those sounds.
cold. It's like getting warmer, getting warmer.
I'm doing everything right because of the sounds, but her boob doesn't look
Do you ever?
like a big puddle of mess.
It was also like the time when we had magic eyes. So it's kind of like staring at the TV, just waiting for
back
that
up a
image to come
little.
together.
Yeah, it became 3D. Radical Defect says, when I was in 7th grade, we got Cinemax illegally for a minute. I was just channel flipping and genuinely stumbled into completely inappropriate stuff. My mom was a cop, so I was terrified. That's great. That's a really funny story. Like, oh, my mom saw me. I'm going to jail. All right. So first things first, Nicky Hill behind us. You are correct. Something has changed. Our local cookie place. I found out the guy who works there has a kid who's really into Pokemon, and I was like, I have stuff just sitting on the shelf that's just sitting there. I'm not doing anything with it. It should go to somebody that's actually going to appreciate it. So I brought a box of stuff down to the kid yesterday, and he was enjoying it the whole time we were there. So it was a nice time. It was a nice time.
Like toys, or
One toy and one piece
figurines,
of
or-
art to hang up in his bedroom. So yeah, the toy was a Viewmaster. And I was like, your dad can tell you about a Viewmaster, but apparently, oddly enough, the kid is obsessed with Viewmasters.
Yeah, he's got all the wheels of feet pics.
Right? How weird is that? His dad was like, he's really into Viewmasters. We just went to
That's cool.
like a old school toy shop or something, and they bought a Viewmaster. Hello, mice and gods, good to see you. New kitten. Oh my
real
goodness! Look at that cat. That's amazing. So yes, the very perceptive Nicky Hill, you are correct. The shelves have changed behind us a little bit, and most likely will in the weeks to come. Okay. First topic. Have you heard about I'm only asking him specifically because I don't imagine you have, and he is tied to the discussion. Have you heard about the Helldivers 2 controversy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
I saw on Reddit something about Steam and
We speak in here.
on Reddit something about Helldivers and Steam and
You need a PlayStation account now or something? Is that like part of it?
So you did hear part of it.
I saw a headline.
So, yes, what is happening is if you are a Helldivers 2 player on the computer, you will soon need a PlayStation Network account, whether you have a PlayStation or not, because Helldivers 2 and Helldivers in general is a Sony-owned property, even though it's not developed by Sony. And you've been able to play Helldivers 2 without a PlayStation Network account on Steam because it's Steam and a computer, and you have no need for a PlayStation account. But for whatever reason, Sony has decided now you will need a PlayStation Network account. And computer players are like, what the hell? Now, first off, you need the free one. Like, you don't need a paid one. But computer players are like, why? Why do I need this?
What the hell's PlayStation?
Why do I need to sign up for this thing? And there are plenty parts of the world where you cannot get a PlayStation Network account, but you can play Helldivers 2. So they're like, what am I supposed to do? It's against terms of service for me to get a PlayStation Network account because of where I live. I cannot get one. What am I supposed to do?
I'm sorry, where is that?
I don't know the names of the place at the top of the dome.
Ohio.
Not the United States, but other
Right.
parts. There are many regions around the world where you cannot get a PlayStation Network account.
Areas that are just only owned by Microsoft or something?
I don't know the
So,
reasons
no,
why.
it's
I'm
just-
not Sony, but if you look at it, do one quick Google search and you get a whole list of all the places you can't do it.
Wow.
But the creators of Helldivers were like trying to what's the term? You know,
Tweet.
no, when things are going crazy, they're trying to calm people down.
Stir the pot.
No, that's
Crowd
the opposite.
control?
Damage control.
Assuage
Jesus,
fears.
it's a wrestling thing, and I couldn't even think of it. They're trying to do damage control, but players were quick to jump on Steam, and the game was rated very positive, and now it went down into mixed reviews because people are
14,000
very
negative reviews. I
angry,
heard.
very, very angry. So it's turned into a firestorm for them, and it's the change was supposed to happen at the end of May, and as of right now, that is still the case. Although the developers of Helldivers are saying, like, we're talking to Sony, and we didn't know how many people didn't have access to PlayStation Network accounts and couldn't get them because where they live, and blah 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 blah. So it's a very interesting story because there's a lot of vitriol, and I see it from all perspectives. You buy a game for Steam, you play the game on Steam, you have no need for a PlayStation Network account. I get it. I understand that frustration. You're like, why do I need this? There's no reason for me to have this. I've been playing it without it. Then I also see, like, you know, you sign up for a PlayStation Network account. It takes all of a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and then you never think about it again, ever. It's done. So it's a very, very minor inconvenience. So people who are like completely up in arms about it, I don't want to say they're wrong, but it's like, how much of this is you being very angry and how much of this is you like going with the mob and being angry? But also on top of that, it is something you shouldn't have to do. So I do get the frustration. And there's people who are like, I uninstalled the game. I'm done with it. I'm never playing it again. And, you know, as a consumer, that's your right. You can make whatever decision you want. If having to get, hello, Solomon Sterling, if having to get a PlayStation Network account is a deal breaker for you, that is your right to decide that. You're not wrong for doing that. I just, again, want to know how much of this anger is truthful and how much of it is just mob mentality. And then there's the developers who are trying to, you know, like the main developer was like, I'm just trying to make a game where people have fun. Like, I don't want to see this. This is sad to see that people are upset about this. We're going to try and fix it. And then there's the community managers, and one of the community managers in particular on Discord has been like snarky, where somebody was complaining about this move, and then they were complaining later in the Discord, and the community manager was like, I thought you were going to delete your account. And that's not what you want from a community manager. A community manager is supposed to hear the community and give level-headed responses and convey their thoughts to the higher ups, not be like, here's a snarky response to the community. Then why are you in this position? You shouldn't be. Yes, Nicky?
So PlayStation Network is available in 69 countries around the world. Good number. Right now,
Some would say the perfect.
there are roughly 190 independent countries in the world. This is just somebody on TikTok.
There you go.
That seems like a foolish move to limit their player base or whatever. Like,
Well, that is the question. Why are they making this move? Why is Sony doing this? I don't know. So they can artificially inflate their PlayStation Network numbers. So like next term, they could be like, we added 10 million PlayStation Network accounts this term, and their
Right.
investors are like, this is great, and they're
Yeah.
never going to ask why or
who's
how.
cutting the bushes over there?
That's
Trimming
right.
the
Yeah.
hedges?
By the way,
or-
that's this coming week for Nintendo. That
Oh.
goddamn.
or
buy
it
your
goes
stuff
the
now,
other way
people.
where it's like, I mean, no one's actually going to announce these numbers, but like
Oh, they will.
the players, like the number of players accessing or playing Helldivers is going to drop significantly then.
Yeah, but they won't talk about that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
talk
They're not going to talk about that.
They'll
part
talk
of it.
about the PlayStation Network going up, but not the Helldivers. They'll just talk.
It's just
All
a
they'll talk about
weird-
in general is paid amount of copies of Helldivers too. So they'll be like, we sold, this many million copies of Helldivers. They won't say we've lost this many active users.
And that's another thing then for people who don't know about that is like, is there a chance that they can buy the game and then go to play it and can't even access it?
Yes,
That is the
there's 100% a chance.
shoveliest thing I've ever heard of.
Again, that won't be a problem for anybody playing on PS5 because you have to have a PlayStation Network account there. That's always been the case. This will only be on PC. but
okay,
yes.
yes, okay.
So you
that's-
could buy it on PC. I imagine there will be a warning saying you need to have PlayStation Network, but I can't imagine it will be like front and center. So potentially, yes, there are customers who will buy this brand new and be like, I don't want to make a PlayStation Network account. Therefore, you cannot play. So it's not. Then the onus is on you. If the listing says you need it, you buy it. You don't know that.
But it needs
You
to
could try to
say
get a
it. Like, it
refund.
can't just be like a little note on the bottom.
But
or
it
something.
can be a little note. Should it be that way? No, I agree with you. But
Yeah.
it can be that way. And then Sony can be like, hey, that's your fault. You didn't read it.
And Sony has to make this move because Microsoft now owns Call of Duty, right?
Yes.
So like they have to do
Call
this
of
to keep
Duty,
to stay
bro.
afloat.
But we already know that Call of Duty's going to
I know,
PlayStation.
but-
Yeah. But Sony
and
screwed
I mean,
themselves
I'd
out of that
expect
deal.
this sort of behavior from Microsoft.
Sony screwed themselves out of that deal where Microsoft was like, we'll give you 10 years guaranteed Call of Duty, and then we'll also continue to discuss Call of Duty going forward. And Sony was like, no, we're taking you to court. So now Sony has 1 year of Call of Duty, and then we'll talk to you next year. So they did it to themselves.
Quick question: what is the Microsoft account? Microsoft Online. What is that called? I don't know.
That's none of your business.
Xbox Live account?
That's what Xbox Live. Like you need a Microsoft account to play Minecraft, right? If you want to play
Yes.
online, you can
Yes.
play on just a system.
You might need
without-
one in general, but you need a Microsoft account. Yeah.
just a Microsoft account though.
I don't know the official terminology. I believe you need a Microsoft account. I don't believe it's specific to Xbox. Sometimes Microsoft in the gaming space uses those terms interchangeably, Xbox and Microsoft. I don't know. But like when we were doing Minecraft, what was that game we were playing?
I don't know.
Legends? Dungeons?
We needed an account.
We needed a Microsoft account because I remember signing into the Microsoft page to get it done. So, yes, it's all a pain in the ass. And then, it takes me back to Nintendo where people are like, friend codes. I hate friend. Why is Nintendo still doing friend codes? What do you do in Helldivers 2?
That's not
A
what
friend
I sounded
code.
like.
A friend code. Helldivers 2 needs a friend code. You do it once, just like you do with Nintendo, and then it's over. You hear anybody complain about that? Nope. Because everybody's a hypocrite. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with this Helldivers 2 thing. We will find out. People are very angry, and it's only getting worse. So, nothing like Sony to have a golden goose and then shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
The
So you
wing.
guys shouldn't support Helldivers.
We can't. It's not right for us to support
You guys
it
shouldn't
too.
support
I
it.
think we should stop right here.
Yeah.
We're staking our claim. No more
I think
Helldivers
it's
2 for us.
best.
We're fighting the good fight.
I agree.
Actually,
RMC was part of the din of 14,000 negative reviewers, except he actually reviewed the game and not the situation.
yeah, I was gonna say,
how
if
it
you
was
know
handled.
me, when it comes to review bombing, I'm right there with everybody. I do not play the game, and I give it a negative review, a 0 or a 1 at best.
But in this case, you had played the game, so you'd be able to give it a poor review if you wanted.
I could review. I write reviews for GoNintendo, but when it comes to reviews like for things in general, I don't really do them. I only ever
Are you allowed to do that? You own GoNintendo. You can't be writing reviews for GoNintendo.
Yeah, as long as I say I'm supplied a review copy, yes, I can do that.
Oh, you're reviewing the games on GoNintendo. I thought you meant you were just reviewing GoNintendo.
Can I review going on like Glassdoor or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, I think that would be too much of a conflict of interest. Although I'm sure plenty of owners do that under pseudonyms and they're like, this place is great. I know their owner personally. They're a wonderful person. When I do review things, very rarely outside of GoNintendo, when I do review them, it's only ever because I'm like over the moon about something. Like I've never written like this is a horrendous review. But that would be more like products, not an entertainment thing. Like if I got a product that was broken or didn't work as advertised, then I would write a review, not a mean one, but I'd write a factual one. But I can't think of any time that's ever happened. I can't think of like when I bought something that I was like, this is so bad, I need to let everybody know.
I think it's important to when we're talking like positive reviews, when you've had like exceptional service or like a specific person is the reason you had a good experience. I think it's important to like make sure that that's recognized.
Yes.
Like.
Well, like I was talking to you about just yesterday about that pancake place we want to go to.
Oh yeah.
And the reviews were 5 stars
Waffle
all
House?
over the place. And that's it. And 1 stars. And I was like, or 1 star. I was like, what is this? What's the discrepancy here? And all the 1-star reviews were, we waited an hour to get a seat and then we waited another hour to get our pancakes. And sometimes we didn't even get the pancakes and we left. It's a brand new place, so they're having problems. But everybody that
IHop.
actually got the pancakes was like, these are incredible pancakes. So I'm like, so their review average was like a 3.2 or something. I'm like, this really sucks because their food is apparently amazing, but their customer service is horrible. So I said to her, because I want to go to this place, I was like, I guess we're not going to go. I don't want to wait like 2.5 hours to literally get no food. So I guess we'll wait.
LowHop, locally owned house of
LowHop.
pancakes.
I do want to get to IHop because they got that Sonic pancake set up now. They got Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and Amy and Dr.
What
Robotnik.
are you talking about? Like flavored?
Like
this hedgehog flavored?
Yeah, it tastes like their sweat.
By the way,
The Sonic one tastes like his running shoes.
Let me point this out. If there's one, so I crunch numbers on GoNintendo to see how things are doing. Obviously,
Meow.
I will say without a doubt, by far, not even close, our most popular social media things are always Sonic related. I don't know what it is about Sonic and our followers and X, but they love Sonic news.
The
And it
Hedgehog.
doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. Yes, not the drink place.
Not the
not the fast food place. Because we got a sneak peek at what the IHop collaboration was and we posted it. It had like 17 million impressions and like 100,000 likes. It was I don't know what it is, but let me tell you. Limited time Sonic themed menu at IHop. What are the items?
blueberry.
Knuckles chicken sandwich, which we all go to IHop for their chicken. A crispy chicken sandwich with bacon,
Kirby
lettuce,
gets
tomato,
steak there
avocado,
once?
cheese, yes, and buttermilk ranch that won't leave you hangry with a good old side of gold
Onion rings.
Onion rings.
farts.
There's the Sonic Blue
later.
Blur special. Double the blueberries for double the speed and try them with the blueberry syrup. There's the Tails 2x2x2 because Tails has 2 tails.
Oh
so
my
that works.
God.
2 eggs, 2 pancakes, 2 bacon strips, or 2 sausage links if you prefer. Just like Tails, everything comes in 2s. Perfect. Dr. Eggman's Benedict.
Nice.
A 300 IQ genius like Eggman knows that Black Forest ham, poached eggs, and hollandaise sauce makes for a superior
I
meal.
gotta say, let's go now.
I love IHop.
Let's-
I
let's
really
just
do.
I
cut-
wish I
let's
didn't
cut it here.
ask,
We'll come
'cause
back.
Now I'm hungry. Yeah.
And these eggs look great.
I mean, you can't go. We
I
could go with
know.
him later. Amy's Sweet Strawberry Delight, vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, and fresh strawberries atop golden brown waffle quarters is a perfect sweet dessert for an epic adventure. And then finally, Shadow's Chaos Chocolate Pancakes. Go ahead and be a little chaotic. a 4-stack filled with chocolate chips in the
Shout it.
ultimate pancake experience. I want Shadows. I want Sonics. I want Shadow and I want Sonic. Maybe Amy because of the ice cream. I'm not really a big strawberry on it, but
No rouge.
no, deemed too sexy for the deal.
That's difficult. It's not just like Sonic, Tails, and Dr. Eggman. Like, there's a lot there. I want to try all of them. They do that so that you have to keep going back all week.
Well, it is a limited time offer. Try our new limited time menu and get 20% off your first order. Dine Sonic style. Power up your plate with a side of onion rings. Use code Sonic20 at checkout.
What?
To get 20% off.
This?
Then if you use their IHop's what's IHop's thing called, Mom Brain? The Stack Market. Another great thing.
That's awesome.
We ate there twice and we got enough on the Stack Market to get like a free order of pancakes.
No
like
way.
a
What is the
decent
Stack
amount.
Market. I see International Bank of Pancakes.
Yeah, you use the Stack Market on their Bank of Pancakes. You get their app and everything you get earns you things you can cash in on the Stack Market. And it's not like, you got to go 8 times to get a free coffee or something. It was like really good offers. So
You get
And
one
that's-
little cup of syrup, even
Yeah.
though they're all on the table.
here's
but
one
you-
silver dollar pancake. And that's not a limited time thing. Like their Stack Market is a regular thing all the time. The Sonic thing is a limited thing. There you go. IHop free promotions because of your Sonic stuff. But big fan of IHop. Love IHop in general. So if you haven't gotten IHop, there you go. Go get some Sonic stuff. Radical Defect says the best part about this IHop promo is that you can get an Amy costume for Sonic Superstars on Switch that puts her in an IHop server's costume. This is true, by the way. There is a Sonic Superstars costume for Amy through this IHop collaboration. That is true. There you go. So IHop, go Sonic fans. Now, I don't know how long this campaign's running for. Limited time. Don't wait. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Yama. Doing that for you because you know that a little bit from H3.
Yep.
You hear that H3 talk?
About Bub Rub and Lil Sis.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. I was talking about
Ethan brought up Bub Rub and Lil Sis. Of course, he didn't
Going
know
down
Bub
a
Rub. I
dark
wish
road,
I
no
remembered.
lights?
I wish I remembered what he called Bub Rub because he didn't remember. He was like, "It's somebody and Lil Sis," and that he like made everybody watch it. and
standard Ethan.
It was pretty funny.
I was talking about the frenemies talk.
I don't believe I heard it.
First time openly, Ethan has talked about considering bringing back frenemies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like with Trisha?
It was like it was like an on-air discussion, and he's like, he did what he usually does. He's like, nothing's happening. I've been thinking about it, and then he was like, let's do a poll. And Dan's like, this is a terrible idea. Of course, people are gonna want this. And then it was like, it's like a 10-15 minute segment about considering bringing frenemies back. And he's like, you know how you have certain friends where time's passed and you've grown, and he's like, we both got kids now, and like he's like, they're related and we're family. And then he's like, you know how like there's certain friends, even if you haven't seen them in so long, when you do see them again, you'd go right back into it like it was. He's like, and Dan's like, why are you saying this stuff? And then like everybody else on the show was talking about how why am I blanking
Was
on
it a
his
show
name?
that Elo's on?
No.
I was gonna say if she was there, he wouldn't be playing so fast and loose with that joke because it was clearly, to me, just the way you're even explaining it sounds like a joke.
No, it wasn't a joke because it was the longest segment I've ever heard them talk about frenemies, and it was an honest conversation. It was not a joke. It was just a very much Ethan is clearly opened the door in his personal life and is considering it. And he had a little bit of a conversation and it snowballed into him talking about it more and more. But everybody on the show, minus Dan, was very open about like, it would be fun. Like, Olivia like started tearing up. She'd be like, it'd make me so happy if you did this, but blah, 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 blah. Who knows
She
if
just
anything will
loves
happen.
drama.
But, her 2 favorite podcasts before or her 2 favorite internet people were Ethan and Trish. So she's like, of course I want to see you 2 get back together. But anyway.
Of course, she would unironically like Trisha.
Well, I mean, Trish had millions of fans before. There's a reason why they got together. It's not like Trish was a no-name. She was hugely popular.
I I'd be very surprised if anything happened, just because I know how Ethan's wife is, and I
Well,
can't blame her, to be honest.
The door's been opened. I think it's going to happen now. I give it a few years before it happens, but that crack has been opened.
I think it'd be fun. I had a lot. I mean, that's how I got introduced to the show,
Yeah.
actually, and that was through you, and I appreciated it because I had a lot of fun listening to all those episodes.
Well, anyway, I was doing the Elon Musk thing because of H3. But anyway, hi everyone.
I used to get a lot of those TikToks from that person.
They're frenemies or H3 or the Elon Musk
The
guy?
Elon Musk guy.
Yes, Asian man who
Elon
uses
Musk.
a filter to look like Elon Musk. Yes. Hi everyone. Yeah, I just got him this week and I hadn't seen him in forever. So in other news, I talked a little bit about this on Patreon in general. To tell you the truth, I think maybe I did like 1 or 2 sentences and I had more conversation in the comments about it for $1. That's right. Patreon.com/GoNintendo for $1. Thank you for your support, everybody. Got some new people this week.
For $1.
For $1. I talked about I can't stop doing it. Anime. I'm a big anime fan, as you know, and I've only got more into anime. And I was like, you know what's really hard?
Notice me.
You know what's really hard? Finding a place to get anime news.
Nudes?
Nudes.
Oh.
No, that's very easy.
That's on Nicky Hill's
That's right.
job description.
He was going to be like, I can tell you.
I used
Anime
to go
news.
to this website for anime news. It was called Anime Your Way.
Well,
and
that
it
was just a blog.
excellent.
That wasn't for news. That was just a blog, not for news.
Well,
that was
I
personal
figured it wasn't
thoughts.
for news because it hasn't been new in a while.
It was just a blog. It was never for news. I just got a notification that was talking about that domain, and it's like, you better secure that domain or it's going to get open to everybody. It's not, because they'll charge my credit card anyway. But
I keep going whenever I'm feeling lonely because the banner is got a nice booty on there.
what is on there? I don't even remember. Tell me.
I don't know. It's anime. It's obviously a
The
scantily
last
clad
thing I
woman.
remember watching was Durarara.
It's like Fooly Cooley's butt on a moped, like right in the way.
butt.
And you got your sexy wallpaper on your phone too. You know what? I know why you watch
Like
anime,
that?
and I don't blame you.
Can I see,
Is it
please?
gone?
It's definitely gone, obviously.
I don't know. Is that how it was spelled?
So it did. So they didn't charge me. All right, there you go. It's open for everybody.
Oh no.
Go grab it.
Anime Your Way. That sounds like a Burger King anime crossover. Just
Oh
waiting
man,
to be
somebody
picked
took
up.
animeyourway.org because they couldn't get .com, and now they could get it. Well, mine was a blog spot. I never transferred the thing. Was it Anime Your Way?
Wasn't it?
I think you're right. Hold on, let me look it up. Anime Your Way, but it was a blog.
No, it
spot.
was Anime My Way, and it was
Oh.
all of Frank Sinatra's favorite anime. And that's why he didn't have too many.
This is
Anime Your Way.
animeyourway.blogspot.com.
Last post, holy bejolies.
Kill the
Last post
Kill.
on Anime Your Way from me was December 16th, 2013.
Wow.
And there's no banner, so I don't know what you're talking about. But the top post does have a Kill La Kill GIF.
So you liked anime for about 11 years now. Congratulations.
Little bit more than that. Also, I want to defend myself here. I don't know how much it was a joke or not. Deux is right that I have a Fooly Cooley wallpaper on my phone. I would say it's not a sexy wallpaper. It's just Haruko sitting on her moped. That's all that it is. So I can send a picture in the Discord.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that we all know about Haruko is that she is not sexualized in any way.
No. Don't I believe you do me here. This
by
is
the
not a
what?
sexual
I
picture.
got another one.
It was a lube thing. It's
I
yes.
believe you do.
Haruko uses her. Yeah, that's what the game Lou plays with do. Whenever
watch your mouth now with what you're gonna say.
whenever
next.
Deux knows he's needling me on purpose,
all right.
Lube will join in
Fair.
and go, I believe you do, because
Oh.
Lube thinks it's funny to do that. So that's what I was doing with you. Yes, Haruko is a very sexual character and uses that for a very specific purpose in the show, but she is not always sexual. As you know, she has normal moments and tender moments and sad moments. And this picture of her is not sexual in any way. So
What's her hand doing? Her hand is like up in there.
it's sitting on the seat of the bike
She's
behind her.
sitting on her own
All right,
hand.
I'm gonna send this to
Okay.
the Discord.
As
I know
one
this
is
is.
entitled
I
to
know
do.
this is an I believe you thing, but I'm
We
gonna
haven't
send a
gotten
picture
into
to
the
the
news
Discord.
yet, right? Can I just bring something else up that I
Anybody
just saw
under
yesterday?
18 in the Discord, just
Don't listen
just,
to this.
You know, speak
Don't
to your-
listen to this.
Did you guys ever hear the
speak to
theory
your
that
parents, see if
the
it's okay.
Goonies is just about like sex for the kids? Because they're searching for One-Eyed Willie, and
man.
even when Mikey
It's a
finds him,
stretch.
he spends like he has like a private
Oh,
moment
boy.
with
I
him.
got somebody sitting on a moped, and it's not a stretch. We got this one-eyed Willie,
and when he
it's a
turns,
stretch.
but when he turns around, and everybody's watching him,
I'm
and it's
sorry.
like
That
just as
movie's got a literal
embarrassing.
penis in it. It's the mom's favorite part.
Exactly, it's the mom's favorite part, and
Peace.
then what Mouth says, if good thing it was, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be here. It's all sex stuff. Mouth
stuff.
Mouth has all the string
Slick
of pearls
stuff.
in his
The
mouth.
kid's name is Mouth.
And Ma Fratelli pulls the string of pearls out of his mouth. It's looks like a little something else.
Wow.
Oh, and
There's a
she
lot of
only serves
inappropriate
tongue.
things.
Oh my god.
She's serving tongue.
Holy cow!
I-
You are right.
They're screening it. I think it's an anniversary this year or something. So they were like screening it in 35 millimeter, and I was thinking about going,
Think of the boot.
and I wanted to see if like I did like a trigger warning thing, and that's what came up. I was just like, whoa, man, this person really did their homework.
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you explain the trigger warning thing?
Well, like the what is it like if you look stuff up before showing children or something?
Oh,
Because if
Common
it's
Sense Media?
that's what
yeah,
I was gonna say. Yeah.
yeah, but or no, like don't you look up like trigger warning things for some media just so that like
Like
people-
Are you asking me personally
that
or in general?
website
I heard it
that
from
tells
here.
you
I
if like a
thought.
dog
Yes,
dies in
there
a
are.
movie.
Yes, there are trigger warning sites for movies or TV shows specific to
just
whatever.
so that like you don't
like you say whatever triggers you in movies. You
Right.
know, to a certain degree, it will be broken down. Yes. But yes, Deux is also right. There's ones to let you know if the animal dies in a movie, which is a
Right.
very specific one, but a popular one. I know people that use that one legitimately. They will not watch a movie if an animal is killed in the storyline, obviously not for the actual filming of the movie. But
If anyone's wondering in the Discord why is this taking so long,
found it.
RMC is just editing the
found it.
photograph. He's editing the inappropriate bits out of the photo. So
I
that
found
he
the
can post it.
wallpaper. It's there. It took me a long time to find it.
he's doing
I was
it-
just about to ask you, is there a place I can go to just to grab my wallpaper?
But?
But I had to find find it in my camera roll. But anyway, anime news. Yes, it's hard to find anime news.
That's
to-
the one, Marsboro. Thank you for posting that. That was your anime your way banner
Oh, was it really?
last time I checked.
There's no banner. I've seen that picture before, but I don't see a banner when I go there. And I can. Here's what I will tell
It's
you.
not there anymore, obviously.
Here's what I will tell you 100%. I see that picture and I'm like, well, Mom Brain,
I'm
hope
gonna
you
need a
back me
minute.
on this. I see this picture and I'm like, that's not an actual picture from the show. I don't want that.
I was wondering that myself.
Yeah, it's not. That stuff makes me so angry. I hate when I go to find like a shirt or something and they give me images drawn by. I don't want something that somebody else made. I want an actual thing from the actual show, like actual artwork from the show. So yeah, this is somebody's dream about how Haruko would sit on the
Vespa.
Vespa. So there you go. At least I got the license plate right. But anyway, for the third time, I find it hard to find anime news in the way that I want it, where I'm like, I just want like easy to break down anime news, like the sites there are sites out there that do anime news, like Anime News Network. They have a lot of stuff, but they do a lot of superfluous stuff too, where they're talking about like video games, and they do something else like stage shows and stuff. And I'm like, you know, that's fine, but I don't know that should be in just your all news filter. That should be in different categories. And they do like manga, and I know manga's tied to anime, don't get me wrong, but like if I'm just looking for strictly anime, I just want anime. So I go to like 7 different places. Like Crunchyroll's blog does a decent job with anime news, and they cover things that Crunchyroll doesn't even have, which I really appreciate. I'm like, oh, they're impartial with their coverage. That's great. But they're still not that thorough. And then there's other sources that I'm not going to get into that say they cover anime news, and it's like, this cosplayer did this and they wowed with their creation, and like this hobbyist animator did this as a tribute to One Piece, and I'm like, that's not anime news. Like, that's fine to cover that, but where's the news? And I've been thinking like, I don't have the time for it, but I really want to do news for anime, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm just putting it out
But if
there
there's
into
no
the
place to get
universe.
the news, how are you gonna share the news?
Like, you can get the press releases. It works the same way as any other industry. You can get the stuff, but like, I'm going to like 20
I know you can
different
get the
places to
stuff, but
find
can you
things.
post the stuff?
I'm
I'm not arguing that with you.
That's what I'm thinking. I could do it, and I'm like, I want to, but I know it's going to become a big thing, and then I don't know. But I'm thinking about it. Just want to put it out there.
You
I'm
don't
thinking about it.
even have time to do
My
anything
brain will
else.
account for me. I have way more free time now, right?
Yes, that we're enjoying.
We are
Yeah,
enjoying
right.
this.
Like, you should
Yeah.
enjoy it. I mean, why are you doing
Well,
this
that's
to
what I'm
yourself?
saying. It wouldn't. Well,
These are your hobbies. Why you have to make them your
it's not that
your work?
But that's the thing. I don't turn hobbies into work. I love talking about my hobbies. Like, that's how GoNintendo started. Like, I just love that. Brings me joy. Like, a place to talk about this stuff and find other people to talk about this stuff. Like, I want to, and in my personal life, I don't really have that. I can't talk about it to the degree that I want to, because nobody else is as invested or wants to be that invested, and that's completely fine. But like, I have that passion for those things, and I want to put it out there. And I'm like, if I want that, chances are probably other people want that too. So that's the way I think about it. But yeah, it wouldn't be like
have to do another podcast for this.
I mean, there's so many podcasts
And
I want
then
to
once
do.
that gets going, then we got to start the WWE news website, and then
That
news
podcast.
podcast for that.
For a news website for wrestling, I'd say we're good. There's a lot of very good outlets out there. I have no trouble. That's another reason why I think about it, because I'm like, wrestling news, I got no problem getting exactly what I want from many places. Anime, I feel like there's sites. Anime is so much more popular than wrestling, and there are sites out there that cover stuff, but I just don't appreciate the way that they cover it. And I'm like, somebody could do this better. There's
Maybe
something
you are
here.
the hero that they need in that
So
in that genre.
it's just going to be pictures like are posted in Discord, and that's it. But so I'm just putting it out there. I've been thinking about that stuff. Marsboro, that's a great idea. Marsboro, that's a great idea. They suggested make it a Patreon add-on. That's a fantastic idea. I could do another tier where it's like the $2 tier. That way, if you don't want to see any of the anime stuff, you never see it. But if you pay the extra $1, you see all the anime stuff. Such a good idea. That's excellent. I might do that. What a smart idea. Thank you, Marsboro. That's awesome. That's awesome. But anyway,
it's gonna get so much more popular than GoNintendo. You're gonna have to shut down GoNintendo to focus on the anime.
well,
site.
here's the secret about GoNintendo's Patreon. I never promoted it. On the podcast. I talk about it, but I never promote it anywhere because I feel bad. So there's a button on the site. I never show, like, it's there if you hunt for it. I just hate talking about it. But you're probably right. If I put that out there, that would probably get some traction. Speaking of Patreon, here's what I talked about on Patreon this week.
Didn't we already talk about that?
No, we talked about
For
Helldivers
$1.
2 and anime. Now we're talking about Patreon. The first post this week was about a conversation we all had in real life. Not you, Mom Brain. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Talked about the reach of gaming, because we have a friend who doesn't really follow gaming, but his children are into gaming. His name is the Bear, and he has
from
been
the FX show.
feeling
You know that guy?
nostalgic for games, but he is stuck in the mindset of where games used to be when he was a kid, and he had no idea how popular games are now. He had no idea of their reach, and we had like an eye-opening
Was
conversation
this just
with
last
him.
week you had this conversation? Or
You
was-
were part of it, yeah.
I remember.
We were all in the kitchen talking about it.
It was a good party.
Yes, because he was talking about how all of us, he's like, you guys are into such like a niche thing, and we were like, gaming's not niche. It's like the biggest entertainment form now. And he was like, what? And like I was explaining it, and Vitamin G was explaining it, and the Bear's mind was blown. Like, you could see on his face, he's like, oh my God, I've been living in a pit. Like, he had no idea it was as popular as it was, because he thought the way we were talking about it was like, you guys just know about this kind of stuff. And we were like, no, this is like what. This,
Meanwhile,
like,
what's he
believe-
doing with his time? Oh, I'm watching this new show called Halo, and I'm watching this other show called Fallout.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
those are based on
Yeah.
video games.
I don't remember if it was
What?
Did
you.
he really say that?
No,
He
but
was
it
one-
was
I don't remember if it
funny.
was you or Vitamin G.
I
apologize,
didn't
but-
know. I wasn't part of this
Okay,
conversation.
so then Vitamin G said like games pull in more money and have a bigger audience than any other entertainment form right now by far. And he was like, what? Like, not like a no, I don't believe this. He was like, really? And then we were explaining it more, and he was like, you could see in his eyes, like, oh my God, like I thought my friends were just into this and it was still as popular as it used to be back then.
Well, he was always so disdainful throughout. I mean, we've known him 25
That's
years.
why I was having
He was
this
always so
conversation.
disdainful about video games and our hobbies, but we just thought he didn't like video games.
So yes, and
So-
late like the last few times we've talked to him, I've noticed him getting like more and more nostalgic for games. And I think this is probably something we should discuss more after the podcast. But I think it's more of like he was like, oh, this is what the children do. And now I grow up and we become adults, and adults do this, that, and the other thing. And now he's realizing, like, oh my God, that's what I did, and that's not what should have been done. Like other people, I'm living a way that people don't live. So you like it was like a good, I'm gonna say like 40-minute conversation. And it was eye-opening for me that he lives in a world where
Especially
That's
with
not
two
happening.
young children, like
well, he
13-year-old
knows
and
like they
11-year-old.
play games, like his kid plays like sports stuff, and then I want to say Fortnite maybe. But he thought like, my kids are into games and whatever, that's that. But he didn't realize like the world out there that's
that's
into
weird
games.
to me.
I love how it's
Well, I think he's thinking of it like, when I was a kid, I played games too. So that's that.
No, but I think it's weird to me that like your kid isn't interested in something and you're just not gonna like give it any time of your day or whatever.
Well, it's not that he doesn't give it time. Like, it's not like he's passive in it. He knows that he plays and like talks to him about it, but he's not actively playing and not looking at the greater, he only knows what the kid knows, and the kid wants to play MLB or Madden or whatever. So that was his touchstones with it were just what his kid's into. So I don't think it was like it used to be that way for him, where I think it was like, I did that when I was a kid and then I moved on, because you grow up and you're an adult and that's what you do. And now he was like, oh, this was silly
Give
of me
my
to think
adult
this way.
beverage and I'm gonna laugh at you gamers.
Yes. It's the same thing. Sorry to bring up personal matters, but it's the same thing with like my pants and your pants. It's like, oh, you're wearing pants that have a color or a design. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So
it's funny how
we wear jeans or slacks.
it
and
was
that's
funny how like at a personal house party, how much my wardrobe was commented on. Like it was that seems a little extraneous.
Like I said to you, as soon as I got there, I thought two things. Those pants are great, and he's going to get a lot of crap for those pants. And both are true.
It's like when
should not be.
Martin's on the bus and he's wearing the Wang computer shirt,
Yes.
and he's like, oh, thank goodness he drew
meant to
attention
comment
away
on-
from my shirt.
I meant to comment on that shirt last week. You wore it on
But-
last week's podcast.
Thank
But those
you.
are Teddy Fresh.
Yes.
The
and
sweatpants were.
They had a roughly tie-dyed. I don't even know what you call it.
I
Not even
don't
tie-dye.
know, but it's like
They're
a
just a pair of pants. Jesus, people.
they look very retro. I don't know. It's
And
like
the
a
sad thing
older-
is I would never wear them in public because I'm not that outgoing.
Well, now you know.
And
they, like,
now I
fleecy on
know
the
I should
inside?
never, because like I got
You're
my
up.
closest friends tore me up in my own home over it. So like
Yeah, but I mean, you might walk out into public and people be like, "Yo, T Fresh."
it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it. I'm
I mean,
I'm an old man and I won't do it.
That is true, because people are way more. It's so stupid. I'm like, people are accepting of pants nowadays, like with designs. But yes, the younger generations would never think anything of it, and they more likely would say, "Oh, those are cool." Mom Brain gets comments on her overalls all the time. Every time she
Well,
wears
those
them when
things
we
are
go
awesome.
out, people comment, "These are great. I love those. What are those? Where can I get those?" All the time. But yes, I don't think the way you do, but I understand why you're thinking that way, because you're like, Jesus, my own friends are going to be like this. I'm never going to wear it out because all these strangers that don't matter are going to look at me like I'm the world's biggest freak. And their opinions don't matter. And I don't think that way. I want to stress that. But I'm saying I disagree with how you feel, but I agree with you thinking that way. As in
Right.
people are going to think that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I get it. But yes, it was an eye-opening conversation about games, and I wrote about that, saying how when we were kids and what games were like and how they were viewed and where they are now and how different it is. And it was just not only was it an eye-opening conversation for them, it was an eye-opening one for me, because it was basically like someone who was like cryogenically frozen for the last 20 years, and they were thawed out, and they're like, this is what the world is now, how it used to be 20 years ago. So
Well, yeah, that is quite eye-opening because you live it every day. It's second nature to you. You don't
Yeah.
even think about what it would be like to not have any frame of reference as to how big it
Yeah.
is. And then to find someone that you've known 25 years, you're very close friends with, who's your age, and they are just like, it's kind of like talking to, your grandpa or something. It's like, oh, okay, like we need to re-educate them.
yes, that's
But it's-
exactly what it was like.
But it's kind of funny that our friend would be like, oh, my friends have been into this forever. Stupid. Oh, millions are into this. Well, it's okay then. And it's like,
Yes.
wait, what makes your friends different from the millions?
Yes, I have those feelings about things that I like and what I like in general, all of my life. So yes, I know that. But it was just, with gaming, you think it's gotten so big. You would think, like Nicky Hill was saying, there's so many shows based on games now. You think at some point you'd be like, maybe gaming's bigger than I realized, but didn't happen, I guess.
Well, it's, wrestling is huge. And I bet you there's a ton of people that can easily,
yeah.
maybe not easily, but like can not even see it anywhere. And even though it is easy to watch, it's easy to get, it's easy to stay up with if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tons of people that it doesn't even pass their minds.
Today is Backlash, WWE Backlash in France. Please, no spoilers. But they tweeted, or they X'd out on X yesterday. They had SmackDown in France, and they said it was the highest grossing, most attended SmackDown in WWE's entire history. They have never had any bigger SmackDown ever. And that's after just breaking that record 4 weeks ago in Philadelphia. So like there's another.
Where was
perfect
the record?
example.
In France?
Yeah, Lyon, France. Yes.
Formidable.
The WWE, especially Triple H, would always talk about, people don't realize A, how big wrestling is, and B, how big worldwide it is. He's like, we have audiences all over the place. And back when Vince was in charge, they would never, the furthest they would go is Canada. He's like, we have so many underserved audiences. We have millions of people watching, but we never go there. And since Triple H has taken over, they've been all over, and they always break records. And now they're in France. Like Triple H sent out a picture on X of somebody holding up a sign in like a sea of people that said like, the sign said something like, I've waited my entire life for this or something like that. He's like, these people are here. We need to travel to them because they've been waiting to see us. So you're exactly right about wrestling.
That's why John Cena's Bing Chilling.
I sent you that, right? That animation.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was
I
great.
loved it. He reposted that on TikTok,
That's great.
that animation. And he's like, this is so cool. I love seeing these kind of things. And he started doing the Bing Chilling thing again
Love
in
it.
the voiceover. I was like, such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Love it. I love when they do that kind
Yep.
of stuff.
Moving on.
Like you just showed that CM Punk. Now I don't really care that much for CM Punk, but you showed him. Someone had a sign that said what?
CM Poop.
CM Poop.
It was like some young
Two
kids.
little girls.
And he
yeah.
like stopped and chatted with them, got his picture taken with them in the sign. I thought that was great. Like
He didn't just acknowledge it. He stopped to talk to them. He signed the
what a
sign
great
and took a
sense of
picture
humor.
with them.
What
Yeah.
great. If it were Randy Orton, he would have spit on him or something.
The best part is when he's walking away, you can hear him at the very end laugh to himself, and he goes, "CM Poop," and that's the end of the
'Cause,
video. I was like,
'cause
that's great.
He knows it's funny. And
Yeah.
it's great. Like when you can have a sense of, when you're that big and you
Yeah.
can have a sense of humor about yourself, I think that's a very unique
Yes,
thing.
yes, it's very telling. It is. Also on Patreon this week, I talked about the 1-2 punch of excellent shows
$1.
lately: Baby Reindeer and Shogun. Two amazing shows that really do something special, that really break the mold in a lot of ways, and they're 10 out of 10 shows for me if I was going to give them a number. I got no complaints about either of them. Both are very different. Both deal with traumatic issues, certainly. Both are expertly told, expertly shot. They're the pinnacle of prestige TV. If you've been feeling the void of prestige TV lately, these two shows are go-tos. Again, as Nicky Hill said, check out trigger warnings because there's a lot of things that may be triggering in both of those shows, more so Baby Reindeer than Shogun, but still there are triggering topics in both. So but both shows excellent. Recommend you check those out. I talked about Sega CD music because YouTube was like, would you like an hour of Sega CD music? And I was like, yes, I would. And this guy put together what is a compilation of like so many albums
All four
or so
Sega
many
CD games.
yeah, right. So many albums from Sega CD games that I loved, plus ones that I've never heard, and it's all in that vibe of, as I've said many times before,
Dog meat.
composers went from like, here's the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. You have very limited sound chips, very limited storage space, make it work. They went from that to literally, here's CD storage. So you basically have multitudes more storage space, and you are not limited by sound chips. You are limited to whatever you can do anywhere with anything. You play real instruments, you play synthesized instruments, you want to work with computerized chips, do it all. Doesn't matter. You literally have access to everything. And there was a short window with the Sega CD and the PlayStation 1 to a degree where composers were like, oh my God, the world is at my fingertips. I can literally compose anything I want. And they were figuring that out and meshing worlds together for a sound that you don't really get nowadays anymore. And I think that's a really magical slice in game audio. So I linked the video in the post so those who are interested could hear it. But man, it's a magical time in game music, and it was just such a great compilation. So I posted that. I posted about Stellar Blade, but I'll save that for later on because I'm going to talk about it in the What We Played. I did a post about your most important game aspect, as in what part of a game is most
What rules,
important
you
to you?
sons of bitches?
What is paramount to your game experience? What is something in a game that no matter what the game is, if it has it, you're going to like that game, or at least that component of a game. Or if a game has this aspect, it will mean something really important to you. Just that one element of a game, be it a genre or a specific mechanic of a genre, or music in particular, or even the use of sprites, whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be.
You fat bloated idiot, whatever it is, like that will tickle your fancy in that specific way. And then last but not least, I talked about Mars Express, which is something I didn't even know existed until this week. You're a man of film. Have you heard of it?
I don't know.
It's a animated
All aboard the Mars
movie.
Express.
It's a French animated movie. It came out in France last year. It only just came out here this week, limited release. It's in a few theaters around
Did you
here,
see
not
it?
our
You
usual.
went to see it?
No, I found out about it yesterday, day before yesterday. It's a it's exactly what I love. It's neo-noir sci-fi, robots, detectives, action, right up the Blade Runner or Ghost in the Shell alley. Like I said, it's a French animation. It's 3D animated, but it's made to look 2D. Trailer looks awesome. I didn't know a thing about this movie. Thanks to Polygon, I found out about the movie. Polygon did a review of the movie, and I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. I read their review. Seems like they really enjoyed it, and they're extremely harsh critics, in my opinion, to a fault. That's right, Josh. It's about robots. Are you in it?
I'm the star of the show.
Okay, well, then I definitely have to see it.
A big hello to my fans.
You're my best friend. I'm
it's
surprised you
playing
didn't
by
tell me
me.
about it. Huh?
It's
Playing?
playing by
Yes,
me.
yes. I was going to talk to you about it later because I would like to see it. It looks really good, and I imagine it's not going to be in theaters long. But yes, looks awesome. So the Polygon review, like I said, I think they're harsh critics to a fault. I think they're overly harsh. So when they do like something, I'm like, okay, I should probably look into it. Watch the trailer after reading the review. Really like the trailer, so I
Got
looked
100
up.
tomatoes.
I know. Well, it's like 19 critics or 16 critics, so not a lot have seen it, but 100%. Yeah, no audience review when I was there because it just came out. But check out the trailer for Mars Express if you're into animations. It's an adult animation in the sense that, not like nudity or violence. I'm sure that's in there, but adult as in like, little kids aren't going to want to go see this cartoon movie. It's not for that.
But it's a cartoon. It's made for kids.
That's how a lot of people think. That's probably how one of our friends thinks. But there's that. That's what I wrote about on Patreon this week. Now, as I said, it's been a busy week for top stories. Let's get into them.
Finally.
Fine.
Finally.
Thank you, Mom Brain. We got ourselves some new rumors about the Switch's successor. These come from MobaPad, a Switch accessory manufacturer. So what we know about MobaPad for sure is they've created accessories for the Switch. Could they be privy to information about the Switch's successor? Certainly. Does that mean its information is true? Not necessarily, but it has a little more substance to it than just, my uncle works at Nintendo, that kind of thing. So
My sister had a baby.
my sister works at Nintendo and she had a baby. Here's what MobaPad said about the Switch's successor. Existing Joy-Cons and existing Joy-Con and Pro controllers will be compatible with the new system, and HD Rumble will still be featured. So recently we heard another rumor that said Pro controller will work. We're not sure about Joy-Con. This says Joy-Con will be. The device will be backwards compatible with the original Switch, but new cartridges will be a different shape and format. That makes sense. We've seen that happen before with some systems where old cartridges game cards are playable, but the new system takes a new format. We've seen it with the DS, for example. It played GBA cartridges, but took a DS game card, and those were a different shape and format. There will be new Joy-Con that are larger and attached to the console magnetically. Again, not the first time we've heard about the magnet things. They'll also have two new buttons, one on the back and one underneath the home menu button. And they are metallic SL and SR buttons. That should be changed. I agree with that. Because now if you play with a single Joy-Con, you have the little Reaper wiener buttons up top, the SL and the SL and ASR, where if you don't have the rail to slide on and you're trying to play without the rail, those buttons are very tiny and they're too recessed. So if you're going to make a button on the back and another button underneath the home button, I'm all about that. Great decision. The dock will output in 4K and use USB-C. Makes sense to me. Little bit surprised by the 4K, but I believe it.
You think that's too powerful?
What do you mean?
You're surprised because you're like, I wouldn't think they'd go that.
I wouldn't imagine that they jump to that now, but there's no in between. You could do like a 1440, I guess, but you're not going to advertise that on the box because your average consumer is going to be like, what the hell is 1440? They may not know what 4K is, but they've heard of 4K. So I'm sure the handheld, if I had to guess, will stay at 1080p because 1080p on that size screen is more than fine. An improved kickstand will provide better support with a damping bracket, allowing for more precise adjustment of the angle when playing in tabletop mode. The Switch OLED has a fantastic kickstand, so if we get that but better, makes sense to me. The screen will measure 8 inches with 1080p resolution. There you go. So yeah, bigger than what we have on the Switch right now, but not ginormous. All these things are rumors, but they're not so far outside. They're not far outside the realm of possibility at all. They're all things that make sense. So there's your rumors on that. Seems believable to me and seems like good stuff. Backfug says, this is the strangest source yet, in my opinion. On one hand, why would an accessory company post this information? If they had it already, it would be such a strange self-sabotaging move. Well, you would think that, but honestly, we've seen third parties do this before by accident, and they didn't realize that some of the information they had or were privy to wasn't public yet. And somebody in the chain of command just wasn't aware, and they're like, yeah, put that on the page. It has happened before.
Has it been pulled yet?
We linked to the original source, so I'd have to search them out to know. So I don't know off the top of my head, but I can get back to you on that. So there you go. It's not like the system has 4D graphics and 8D sound and Mario and Zelda at launch. All those things where you read that and you're like, oh, this would be great, but it's not really believable. And what the hell does an accessory manufacturer have? They got no skin in the rumor game. Why do it? So I'm not saying that makes it true, but better than your average rumor. Moving on, and oh god, here's another one that got a lot of traction on social media because, of course,
the Paper Mario story.
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I will try and do this as best I can without sounding like a whiny old bitch, but that's what's going to happen. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on GameCube was 60 frames per second. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on Switch is 30 frames per second. And not everybody. Is it a vocal small contingent on social media? Is it a vocal large contingent on social media? I don't know. I don't know what the reality is with this stuff. All I know is when you talk frame rate and resolution, it becomes a big discussion online. Not saying it's not warranted. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't even have a dog in general. I have nothing. So I am
We have a
not
cat.
invested in this conversation at all. But I recognize A, it is important to people. B, people make it seem like it's important to them. Maybe it isn't. And they're just, dogpiling. I don't know. But it's always a big topic of discussion. So people are like, it's on the Switch, a more powerful system, and it's going to run at half the frame rate. Unacceptable. It's been a big controversy, a big point of discussion. And surprisingly, we heard from someone who's really in the know with games. Abebe Tanari is the director
Of Bebe's Kids?
of Bebe's Kids and Bayonetta Origins on the Switch. So Bayonetta Origins, a game on the Switch made by Platinum Games and Nintendo. So this is somebody with literally firsthand knowledge of what it's like building a game on the Switch. They made Bayonetta Origins on the Switch, which is also not 60 frames per second. It is 30 frames per second. They took to social media to weigh in on this chatter. And I'm going to read you some of what they said. They said, quote, I can empathize with the developers of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door on Switch with the whole 30 frames versus 60 frames situation. We tried for a long time to get Cereza and the Lost Demon, that's the full title of Bayonetta Origins, running at a stable 60 frames per second. We were able to maintain 60 frames inside one location, but it just wasn't possible to keep that same visual fidelity and hold that 60 frames in the forest. My choice was either have an unclocked frame rate with frequent dips between 30 and 50, or cap it to hold it a stable 30. Most difficult part of the game is most difficult part of game development is making choices about what to prioritize. Everything has a cost, both in terms of development time to implement it and in terms of processing time when the game is running. Ultimately, you cannot have everything. Bayonetta Origins may not look visually complex, but there's actually a ton of post-processing going on under the hood. The colors fading in like ink. The colors fading in like ink as you move through the world. The shading patterns on objects. The way the world curves to allow you to see further into the distance. Blah 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 blah. So this developer's like, hey, let me give you some insight into this. Like,
Sorry.
I make
When
videos.
has insight
stop you
ever
right
reached
there.
anybody?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when has
Stop right
insight
there.
ever made it to the internet? But
He's like,
continue.
No.
We wanted
No.
to do 60 frames
30
per
frames.
second. We could
Blah.
get 60 frames per second in certain
Fail.
areas, but not the whole game altogether.
Come on, Nintendo.
And we were like, should we do 30 frames per second stable everywhere? Or should we let the frame rate fluctuate in certain parts? And they were like, stable's more important to us. Then you have one game that feels one way the entire time. It's not going to have a frame rate that's weirdly chugging in certain areas. So we went with this because we thought it'd give a better feel to the game. It would be visually more pleasing, as in the graphics would be more intricate. We could have all the effects that we want. We'll just have to have a lower frame rate. So that's what he said. It's not surprisingly, they got eaten live on social media because that's the way it is. But I thought it was very nice. I got eaten alive on the internet because I'm like, because some people are like, is it really a controversy?
Tasty.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a hotly discussed topic because literally a developer of a first-party published game was like, let me weigh in on this. How did they find out about it? I don't know. Maybe because it was trending all over social media and people have been talking about it nonstop. Do I like that it's a controversy? No. Do I think it should be a controversy? No. Is it? Yes. Objectively, yes. Subjectively, yes. Like both, like it's a controversy. People are talking about it in a controversial manner. So all I can say is, does that equate to or relate to the real world? I don't know. I don't know what the real gamer is. The real gamer probably doesn't give a crap about this. And by real gamer, I mean like your everyday gamer. They probably don't give a crap. They don't know they don't notice that it's not 60 frames per second. You don't even know what 60 frames per second is. It's just the Uber gamers online that are like, this is running at 58 frames per second instead of 60 or whatever. And I'm not saying gamers can't be sensitive to frame rates. They can. I am not, unless it's very bad, egregiously bad. And I recognize that's a me thing. I'm not saying complaining about frame rate is bad. But whenever you have these discussions online, they become so toxic. It's tough to see. So the developer weighed in the hopes of saying, like, maybe I could shine a light on this. And, I'm not going to say some people didn't listen because they did, but more people didn't. Giancarlo Tomas Senoni says, as long as Nintendo and Intelligence System is able to maintain a smooth and stable 30 frames per second on Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake, I'm fine with this. Giancarlo, thank you so much. I see that that English is not your native language, but you did a very nice job with your sentence. I want to applaud that. Thank you for signing up for our comments and going out there, because I know that's scary. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. There you go. That's enough of that. I can tell when I get heated talking about something because I start to get parched. Hi, 10 Division. Good to see you. You know, 10 Division, I think that the whole time I'm writing these stories, and I don't say it, but I'm glad somebody said it. 10 Division says, why does a classic RPG need to be 60 frames per second anyway? Yes, you're right. It's a turn-based game. Why does it need to be 60 frames per second? Why? It was originally, and I'm sure Nintendo wasn't like, this has to be 60 frames per second. It just was. I can't talk about it anymore. Did you guys look at the next story?
I don't.
If you did, if you didn't, don't.
I may have seen it, but I don't remember.
I didn't. I tried to, but I couldn't get in there.
Top 20 games by active users and revenue for March 2024. This is very interesting. So this is US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy combined. We're looking at top 20 games by active users. We'll do first. So these are the games that have the most players in the areas I told you about combined. So US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy. What games are people playing the most?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 4. Yes. No music here? Deux.
Call of Duty, bro.
Call of Duty, bro, is number 2. Yes. Mom brain.
Minecraft.
Minecraft, number 3. Yes. Sorry to make you wait so long.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Nicky Hill says Hogwarts Legacy. No, I'm sorry. You're out. Deux.
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2, number 9. Yes. Mom brain. It's a bead of sweat rolling down her forehead.
We got a FIFA.
We call it FIFA. It's not called FIFA anymore, but you will get it. EA Sports FC 24. Back to you, Deux. It was number 8. Fortnite, number 1. Mom brain, back to you.
Is there a Pokemon out there?
Are you guessing Pokemon or are you asking?
Yes, Pokemon.
No Pokemon. Deux, you're the winner. Congratulations.
Hey.
Mom brain, one you didn't guess that I thought you would have. Roblox. You got B's from Roblox.
Suika game.
Number 1 is Fortnite. Number 2 is Call of Duty. Number 3 is Minecraft. Number 4 is Grand Theft Auto. Number 5 is Roblox. Number 6 is Rocket League. Number 7 is Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh.
Then FIFA, EA Sports. Then Helldivers 2. Number 10, Apex Legends. Number 11, Overwatch. Number 12, The Sims 4. Number 13, Madden. Number 14, NBA. Number 15, League of Legends. Number 16, Destiny. Number 17, Fall Guys. 18, Counter-Strike 2. 19, Valorant. And rounding out the top 20, Diablo 4.
What a list. Not for me.
Well,
some good ones on there for me. This is all me personally, but I'm looking at it as a sad state of affairs for the video game genre.
Well, I mean, it's active players, so like there's a lot of games where you're not going to have. There's games that have finite ends to them, so you're not going to keep coming back.
Understood. Makes sense.
These are all games you keep coming back to.
Sure.
What do they call them? Why am I blanking? Games as a service games, stuff like that. And then we have revenue. I won't make you guess. We'll just do the top 10, starting with number 10, Valorant, Madden, Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, NBA. Oddly enough, WWE 2K24 is not in the most played, but it's the 5th in revenue. So number 5 for WWE 2K24. Number 4, Helldivers 2. Number 3, EA Sports FC 24. Number 2, Dragon's Dogma. In terms of revenue, because it's new. It's only a month out, and it's a $70 game. So it will fall off this chart rather quickly, probably in the next month or two. And number one, in terms of revenue, Fortnite. So Fortnite, most revenue, even though brand new games are still coming out, and Fortnite most played. There you go. That's why it's the king, baby. So everybody's loving it. Lanquin says Lady Gaga did this. Fortnite was just a small game no one heard of, and now it's the top game in the world. Please ignore previous months of Fortnite being number one because that doesn't fit my narrative. I mean, Lady Gaga has been very popular. When we see a Lady Gaga out on the battlefield, we are nervous because she's
What?
a killer.
What was the guy at Epic's name? Mark or
Mark
Matt?
Rain,
Yeah,
still there, I believe.
in a gold chair on top of a marble tower.
Gold raining down on him. V-Bucks from the sky all the time.
Because it's the highest grossing game,
This month, yes.
and
Or
it's
March, sorry.
and it's a free game.
Yeah, that's another great point to make. As I said, Dragon's Dogma 2, $70. There are microtransactions. Nobody's getting them. Fortnite, free. Fortnite made more being a free game with microtransactions than a $70 game did. Crazy.
They probably made on the Yoda back bling alone. They probably
We
made
were talking about that
their
today.
money back.
May the fourth be with you.
They added a Yoda back bling that when you splash shield on yourself, he does his like little laugh, like the when you do. It's so good. We have the end of months of speculation. It started in February. Now, what are we in May? It's over. We have a definitive answer, an official answer. For a while there, people were like, Hi-Fi Rush is coming to Switch. Then it didn't come to Switch. Then we thought it was going to get announced for Switch. Then it got announced for PS5. And people are like, Switch can't run it. Then we're like, oh, it's going to go to Switch too. Well, all the speculation is over, people. It is 100% official. Pegi, the European ratings board, has rated Hi-Fi Rush for Switch. It's happening. It's official. It's done. No more questions can be asked. The game is officially coming to Switch. When? We don't know. When's the announcement? We don't know. But it is happening. So after all that speculation and wondering and pondering and rumors, we now know it was always true from the start. So look forward to that. I don't know. Soon, probably. It got rated by Pegi, so it's got to be soon. Sticer says, it's happening. .gif. We all know that famous GIF. Excited to check this out. Looks right up my alley. Well, you should be doing it soon. So unless Pegi got things wrong, they didn't take the rating down yet. So I don't think they got things wrong. It's happening.
No peg.
That is correct.
No, Pegi. North America, we got United States, we got our data for sales. Do you guys want to guess it? If you don't, we won't.
I think I saw something somewhere else that said the top game for March, was it?
Well, tell me if you think you saw it.
Princess Peach
Wrong.
Showtime.
That's top on Switch, but
Okay.
I'll give you the top 10. This is all systems United States for March. Number 10, Hogwarts. Number 9, WWE. Number 8, Unicorn Overlord. Great
Overlord.
debut for that game. Really, really great to see that. Brand new IP, brand new launch. Number 8, that's awesome. Good for Vanillaware and good for Sega. Very well earned on that one. Free demo if you want to try that game. Number 7, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not doing nearly as well as was expected. The reports are coming in. Not selling like the last one did.
Huh.
It's about at half the pace. So
Really?
I don't know. Did people not like the first one? The first remake, I mean?
Well,
I don't know. Or
Only you
maybe the
and I.
PS5 install base? Yeah. I don't know, but there's a story there. Number 6, debuting at number 6, Princess Peach Showtime. Great. Now remember, great debut for that one.
Came out like the 20th of March or something, didn't it?
It did come out late. But as always, there's things to remember here. This chart only shows physical numbers, not the digital side of things. So a great debut for Princess Peach Showtime. Good job, everybody, showing up for that one. Number 5, Rise of Ronin, another new debut for the month. Rise for Ronin at number 5 is a solid debut for that game. So good for them. Call of Duty is number 4. MLB is number 3. Helldivers is number 2. And number 1 is Dragon's Dogma. Was a
Initial-
big hit for Capcom.
Initial release date for for Princess Peach Showtime, March 22nd.
That's a killer debut, man.
For what, like
Female-led
a
game
week plus, right?
For a week plus, and we only have physical numbers. That's a great debut. I said that game's doing. I guarantee that game's doing better than Nintendo thought it would, especially for being this late in the system's lifespan. So good on Nintendo fans for picking that up. It was number 1 on Switch, as Nicky Hill and I were saying. Pokemon Go was number 8 in the
You
top
know
10
what
mobile
would do
games for the month.
really incredibly well? A Waluigi game.
It would. It really would. It'll happen one day. I have no doubt it'll happen one day. Just it is not that time. It'll be that middle to end of the lifespan of a system where Nintendo's like, we need something that's new, and like people will come out and get it even though the system's older. That'll be the game.
But like Wario rides a motorcycle. What does
Wario does it
Waluigi
all.
do?
We're gonna find out when his game comes out.
Does he ride like a donkey or something? Like, what does he do?
Well, he does now. I don't know why I want that so bad, but yes, that's what I want. He rides a
Right.
donkey.
Well, what would you call it? You don't want to get him confused with Donkey Kong.
Wadonkio.
Wonky Kong.
Wadonkio, I
Oh.
believe.
Conky.
Wadonkio.
Donkey Kong?
All of these are right. On Switch, the top 10 are Pokemon starting at number 10. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Just Dance 2024, Minecraft, Smash Brothers, Hogwarts, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Mario Kart 8. Number 2 on Switch, Unicorn Overlord. Very great. Very great. Number 1, Princess Peach, we knew. So PS5 is number 1 in terms of units sold and dollars spent because it's a $500 system. Switch was number 2, again, in terms of units sold. Number 3 in terms of dollars. Xbox, poor Microsoft, number 3 in terms of units sold. Number 2 in terms of dollars. I know I say it every
Wait,
time,
what's
but
the
I
Microsoft-
cannot get over
What's the price of an Xbox?
$299, $200. I don't know.
It's pretty much the same as the Switch, then, right?
You can get an Xbox Series S for less than you can
A Switch.
a Switch OLED, or people don't like Microsoft. It's crazy. They dropped 30%. Their sales dropped 30% from last year, which were down 30% the year before. I don't know
Trying to get
how the
back-
mighty have fallen.
Trying to get back on top is going to be micro hard.
Starfield didn't do anything for them. Made a minor blip.
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
They got Senua, Hellblade 2, Senua's whatever coming out. I'm amped for that. No way is that a system seller.
That's not a system seller.
But there's- I mean,
Alan
like-
Wake's sequel was kind of botched by not going physical. I know a lot of people, myself included, didn't
They
get that
have
game 'cause of that.
said they didn't make their money back yet, but they're very close. So it's on track to do. It's doing better for them than their other games, but it's
I was just trying to think of something that you
No,
can't
you're
get
right, you're right.
anywhere else. Like that you can't-
Redfall was a disaster when that came out,
Oh yeah, right.
and the DLC still isn't out. Halo
Wait a minute. What was Redfall?
Redfall was
it was like the vampire version of Left 4 Dead.
that's the best description I
I
can
don't
think
even
of.
remember hearing
Yep,
about that.
came out. It was very bad
It was
and broken.
buggy.
I never played it, but that's what I heard.
What was the? Oh my gosh, this might not even be out yet. There was a game. It was a first-person game, and all I remember, or I could think of, is like, I think there's robots, and like you're like, are you ripping out the hearts of robots or
Yeah,
carrying one
Atomic
around?
Heart.
Atomic Heart. That's why
But
Heart
that's
is
not
mine.
just Xbox, right? I think that's everything.
Was that even
think
out?
so. It came and went.
Yes.
Oh,
It kind of
man.
was, people talked about it for a bit, and then they
It
kind of got
sold
over it.
well in the beginning.
remember
like,
it being
it
like-
did well.
Getting
but-
buzz during one of the E3 events or video release, like
Yeah,
trailer releases. or something.
it's yes, it's one of those, like, I haven't played it, so I don't know. People liked it well enough. My brother-in-law played it and he enjoyed it, but it wasn't his favorite. Yes, but it did okay. What did better, and this is a me thing, was that Lies of P game, like the adult serious take on Pinocchio. That's like a Bloodborne
another
game.
one.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why everybody was like, yeah, an adult Pinocchio game. I don't know why that clicked for so many people, but it did.
Well, just because it
It's
was
my thing.
public
I don't know why
domain.
it bothers me so much. It has every right to exist. It just doesn't.
Are you
interest
saying
me.
why it was was it popular? Is that what?
Very?
Oh, okay,
It's
so
done very well.
well, just because it's like a Souls ripoff. I don't think anyone cares about the Pinocchio aspect. I'm
I know,
sure,
but
right?
in my mind, I
I'm
thought
sure
people
some
would be
people
like, "What the
do.
hell do I want to? I'm not a little baby. Why am I going to play a Pinocchio game?" But I
No,
guess
but it's
the
the same thing as
Bloodborne
the-
style game.
I mean, come on, man. Like you
No,
can't say
it's-
stuff like that and then you know. And
I think
don't
people-
know.
no.
I think
You're
people eat
taking it
that
the wrong
up.
way. I'm taking it as people look at everything and they're like, "That's for kids. That's for babies. That's for little wiener
No,
children."
but
they get
That's
a
not why you're not interested in it.
no. But they get a Pinocchio game and they're like, "Okay, because it's a Bloodborne, I'm okay with Pinocchio."
I'm sorry,
but it's
Lies of
something that
P,
they-
I never knew that was. I mean, I'm an idiot and didn't look into it, but like I wouldn't have known that was Pinocchio at
the
all.
subtitle is Nokio.
Have you ever heard? Oh, that's not okay. That's
a
very
joke.
funny. That's
Lies
very
of
funny.
P. Nokio.
No, I've never heard of it before, but as all of these like classic animation IPs are going public domain or whatever, I think a lot of people are eating that stuff up. And like that's the first thing they're all going to, right? Like there's the Steamboat Willie first person shooter thing that's like in development. I don't know
That
if
is
it's ever
not
happening.
any relation to Steamboat Willie. I want to point that out.
Okay, but it's loosely
It's black and white and it has like a Disney-esque animated style, but it's not. I know Steamboat Willie is fair game now. I just want to make
Right.
it. It's just called
no,
but called. I don't remember what it's called.
but they're leaning very heavily on imagery that is
It's
very,
very
it would-
Disney-esque. Yes,
Disney
and would
didn't
be
lock
very
down
like
would be
Steamboat
crossing
Willie?
a
What the
line.
hell?
public domain. They're
It would be crossing like a line very easily otherwise, but because the public domain thing is open now, they can kind of just go for it and take a chance.
I
And
get
if-
what you're saying, but I really want to push
But the
back
same-
on that because it doesn't use any of those characters. It is a style.
it's a style.
It's just like Cuphead.
Okay,
Cuphead
well then
was
not that one.
like
The Winnie
Cuphead
the
has
Pooh,
a Fleischer
the
style.
Winnie the Pooh horror movies.
Yes.
There's Steamboat Willie is also like they're trying to do things with that IP for sure in
They
other
can,
ways,
yeah.
not in the video game, and people are just eating that stuff up.
I guess that's it.
And that's I think that's the biggest part of it.
So it's
that-
either people didn't know Pinocchio was part of it, or they are like a bloody Pinocchio. This is great. A bloody Winnie the Pooh. This is great. So yeah. maybe
Which,
that's
by
it.
the way, I think that first Blood and Honey movie, I think, did really bad, like as far as reviews
Didn't
and
a
ratings.
teacher get
Oh, but it made
fired for
bank.
showing it in
It
class
made
because they
bank.
weren't?
Good
They didn't
Lord.
know that it was.
Oh right, Blood and Honey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
feel like-
wonder.
Yeah.
But they did a
They didn't look at the
sequel, and the
subtitles.
sequel, I think the reviews and stuff are much higher than the
I
first
want to
one.
say when I saw the reviews for the sequel, it was at 100% for a
So
while.
so like the first one, they just shot it out there to try to be the first to get it,
Mm-hmm.
and then they seem to refine their craft or something
Yeah.
for the second one.
Yeah, I'm not saying like there's not room to make a mature Winnie the Pooh that's enjoyable. There's a room to make a mature anything that's enjoyable. I just hate the shorthand of mature means blood or sex, and that makes it cool. That really, really drives me nuts. I cannot stand that. And that's my own thing because I just think like I hate the idea of like let's take this thing that is aimed at children or kid friendly or whatever, and when we add in blood and guts and guns and sex, that makes it cool. You know, that's how that for me is the sign of arrested development. That's how a kid thinks when they're growing up because you're like, oh, this is awesome. It's got blood and guts, and that's a natural process you go through as a kid. But you know, if you forever
I did not
think
go
that,
through that.
oh, it's a boy thing probably.
Oh, boys will be boys. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying I don't like it. Yeah, I remember thinking it when I was a kid that I didn't like it. It drove me nuts, and it still does. But I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I see that, and I'm like, the connection point of like, take this thing, add in blood. This is cool. Those don't go together for me. But a lot of people think that way. I'm sure women do as well. But
well, we had this
I'd say it's
conversation
more of a guy thing.
back when we were talking about the trailer for Echo, that like it hit in a different way, and it, like that teaser, that initial teaser trailer was like very impactful for us, definitely me, and I asked that question here of like, why does that hit differently? Like,
Well, yeah, but-
the Daredevil series on Netflix was incredible to me, and it was also like just visually stunning, but also like there was something brutal about it
Well,
and something about that, I don't know, like got me pumped up, and I don't.
but
like,
well, with MCU doing it, it's different because you don't see that in MCU. So I think that's a sticking point for when you see a trailer for an MCU project that stresses that it's mature. You're like, oh, they don't do something.
But
like this.
outside of that, even the Daredevil
Well,
thing,
that's what I'm saying.
Like I watched that first series, and I didn't want to go out and fight people. It made me want to create something.
But that's
which
what
I
I'm
still
saying about
haven't done.
Daredevil. Daredevil uses the violence in a meaningful way. Like it's just not violent content. It is violence to tell the story. It's purposeful. It has meaning. It's doing something. Whereas there's plenty of other things that have blood, guts, and violence that are there just to be blood, guts, and violence. Like Winnie the Pooh. That's just there for
Right.
the blood, guts, and violence. Daredevil is telling a brutal story and enhancing it through the brutality of the violence. Like it's like a character in and of itself. It's important to the story. So
So something with Winnie the Pooh, like I mean, maybe you already said this, and I'm trying to look up Lies of P, which it looks like a real boy.
Oh, someone says that Tentavision says not really your point, but Lies of P doesn't have blood. You only fight robots.
there you go.
Care to apologize?
No, if that's what you missed, that's my whole point was I
heard
thought
it
people
all.
wouldn't.
It was very, very astute.
I thought people wouldn't like it because of Pinocchio, not because it didn't have blood and guts. They were just like a mature take on Pinocchio.
I had no idea if the game even existed. Looking at just images, I never would have thought it was Pinocchio because it's a real boy.
It's right there in the title, Lies of P.
He's already well,
Pinocchio.
yeah. I mean, I love it, but
I love it.
Oh man, I was gonna say something and now I forgot. Oh,
I
was
watched
just gonna say
Pinocchio.
the other thing
I
is
grew up with Pinocchio.
like look at the size of like the horror
Look at
genre.
the size of Pinocchio's nose.
It goes on for days.
Yeah, he's been telling
Look at
lies.
the horror
He's
genre.
been
The
telling
size of the horror
lies.
genre as in scope. How many projects there are?
Yeah, it's like it's a huge
Because
industry.
as far as money making goes, it's not.
well, when it comes to
that
movies,
big,
when it
but-
comes to movies, they're made a little bit more on the cheap, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But then they make they
Look
make
at
a lot more money.
Blumhouse. Blumhouse does, or Blumhouse, however you're supposed to say, makes so many horror movies. They've been hits and they've made money. Then Five Nights at Freddy's, they do that, and that's their biggest money maker by far before the movie even came out.
Right.
So,
who
knows?
I mean, look at what they made X, and then they made Pearl, using the money left over from the X budget.
Yeah.
And then they came out of the year with 2 movies, which is pretty awesome.
I do love the horror genre.
But I think that's the
Talk to
whole
me.
thing. There's a lot of fans who go all in on horror stuff. So then you're going to throw in a Winnie the Pooh story or whatever to it, even if it's not even a Winnie the Pooh story. It's just like using those characters, and I think people are they're just going to eat that up. Like it's kind of exploiting your base or whatever, not base, like your fan. What word am I trying to say?
Yeah, I guess it's people. It's a familiar character, so everybody knows that particular character, and then now we're gonna do a totally crazy take on it with blood and guts, and you've never seen this character like this before, and you couldn't even believe it.
Right.
And so people who know the character might want to go, and then people who don't know the character know that it's not supposed to be like that and might go because it. But I
saw what says. I still, but if that ever happened, then my time on this earth ends. I'm voluntarily removing myself. If they ever did a mature Paddington, I'm out.
This also isn't anything really new. Look
out
at
of what,
like
though?
Alice.
Life done.
Right?
How though? I don't
How?
understand.
Death by Marmalade.
Blood and Marmalade.
Maybe I want I might join you. That sounds nice.
I do want Marmalade now.
The what is it? American McGee? Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Don McKay.
What is the Alice game?
American McGee's Alice.
Is that was the first one, and then there was another one, right? Like this isn't something that's new either, of using classic characters.
But to be fair,
also, let's just look at the fact that like Hans Christian Andersen's stories were horror.
I was gonna say, to be fair, Alice and all that stuff in the beginning is, it's more mature than, there's a lot of mature elements to that story.
And all of our classic fairy tales have they're gruesome.
Many of them are. It's true.
Like they've been toned down.
That's right.
But yeah, like what Little Mermaid, like she actually gets her legs cut off or something.
My
right? Like it's
sister had my
Spoiler alert.
grandmother gave her
oh,
the anime
no.
version of The
Oh.
Little Mermaid, but it is
Not-
faithful to the original
and
book,
not
and
knowing?
it is. No, she knew, but I remember like
Open your eyes,
when we
kid.
were kids, even
I
when
don't
we
know
were
why your
kids, we're like,
grandmother
this
sounds
is
like that.
whoa, like she dies
So-
at the end, and you're like, oh my god, like this is horrendous. Like that will forever stick. That might be my beginning, like because I watched that when
Your
probably when I
sexual
was like
awakening?
8 or 9, and
That's
I
why
saw
you
that,
like
and
anime today.
I was like, I'd never seen an animation that wasn't like kid gloves.
Right.
And that is very much not a like children's
It's a
friendly
brutal
story.
retelling.
It's like the original story in animated form. And I was like, I didn't know cartoons could be like this.
Grave of the Fireflies is like
It's not that bad. Yeah. Not
well,
that
no,
brutal.
I was gonna say Grave of the Fireflies is like Disney compared to that.
Take that and do a Disney version, Grave of the Fireflies. There you go. Then Studio Ghibli won't have to hide it anymore and pretend like it doesn't exist. Thanks for coming to the podcast, dear. Looking for that mesquite grass podcast picture, everybody. So, boy, that was a great conversation, and I don't remember how we got to it, but there you are. Oh, because Liza,
That was
whatever.
a really great story.
Thank you. Here's
I'm
a
sorry,
great
every
story.
time you say lies of
Moving
P,
on.
I think Liza
Okay.
Minnelli.
Mhm.
I can't. Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, it's a poor title.
Untruths of Pinocchio. This is a great story. Yes,
So
I made that.
Is there a
picture.
lie
Mm.
button that causes your nose to grow, and that's how you stab the enemies?
I haven't played the game, and to
Amazing.
tell you the truth, I didn't look into it too much because I was turned off by the idea.
If
to
you look
begin
at the
with, so
images, it's all he's already been turned into a real boy. So I don't get it.
I think he's a real man, and what a man! Here's a story.
Once you reach a certain
so-
age, those lies do a little something else.
You know how there's iPad babies and they get iPads or iPhones and they're playing games and the games have microtransactions and parents don't know what's going on and the kids end up buying things in the games and then the parents like, why do I have a credit card bill for $400 in Roblox? What the hell's going on? Well, this is sort of like that, except the person who did it wasn't a baby and they knew what they were doing. A priest
Oh,
was very fond of mobile games such as Mario Kart Tour and something else. Candy Crush. And they were playing, and they were someone who was like, you know what? It's not enough for me to play these games. I need to play and pay to win. So they were spending. Mario Kart Tour has a ton of gotcha mechanics, not that help you play better, but give you carts that you want or characters that you want. So like a gold character or a certain glider that you want. And some of them have very low percentages, like, 0.02% a chance of getting this. And you put in your money like it's a virtual slot machine and the wheels spin and maybe you get what you want. And then Candy Crush is, pay for lives or pay for tools that help you win or pay to progress through a level without actually playing it. Well, this priest was all about it. And you know what? That's totally fine. The Lord provides. You take the money and you do whatever you want with it. The problem was the Lord provided him the church's credit card and he used that for 2.5 years to pay for his Mario Kart Tour and Candy Crush addiction to the tune of $40,000. $40,000
tax free.
on the church's credit card.
Wow.
So, I'm sure he had many talks with the Lord, and the Lord was like, I like seeing you happy. You use the card. It's okay. I don't know what happened, but yeah, between he's 51-year-old man, by the way. I just want to point that out. $40,000 worth of debt on the parish's credit card from 2019 to 2022. He was found out. Oh, I made a typo. Theft. He was found out before. He was just charged now, but the church found out about it a little bit before that. So he was charged, but he's out on bail. This is the craziest part. He's out on bail. Bail was $250,000. Where is he getting $250,000 to get out on bail?
His parishioners.
But he's been removed from his position at the church because of this.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't.
So
make
where
any
did it
sense.
come from? I'm only
Bail
speculating.
bond?
I
but
don't
you would
know.
imagine,
Is that how
like,
bail works? You have to come up with the full amount, or do you have to come up with a portion of it?
you can get
Nope.
a portion of it, but
showing
still
that
a portion.
you are good for the rest. or
But a
something.
portion of $250,000 is going to be a serious chunk of change.
Yeah, but the Catholic Church can
He went and he
cover.
dipped into that. Well, he got removed from his position.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
weird. Who knows? That's strange. I don't
But
know
it
how
was
bail
for
bondsmen's
theft.
work, but
I don't know
Well,
how theft works.
I
It
mean,
might
he
be-
also didn't spend $40,000 of his own money, so he may have had money sitting somewhere.
I'm gonna go in and fix that typo right now.
Especially
Theft.
with if he had that invested.
Bitcoin.
When I
How
first, I
does
didn't.
an M even get in there.
the religious aspect got you all fired up, and you couldn't wait to flame this guy, and the M just came out.
The Mord provides. Uh, So yeah,
Seventh-
I thought that
Oh.
was a very interesting story. There's more questions than answers. I tried to make an image that didn't offend people, so I put Mr. Bean in there. And that is not Mr. Bean. That's Rowan Atkinson, and that is not Rowan Atkinson from Blackadder. That's Rowan Atkinson from
that thing most recent with the
Oh yeah.
Wonka.
I watched it.
Wonka.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there we go.
Yes, Wonka. So did the best I could. There was one person who was like, "Why Mr. Bean in the picture?" I'm like, he's wearing a collar. Can't you at least take that and be happy with it?
Because he has a lot of beans he spent on Mario.
I was like,
Kart.
what can I use that paints this religious but doesn't get anybody offended because I'm not actually using a picture of the church, whatever.
Well, I had to. It was like Mario and Mario. I had to physically, like a few years ago, start calling him Rowan Atkinson when I talk
Yes.
about him, because I will always just be like, "Oh, Mr. Bean."
You can
and-
split the difference, Mr. Atkinson.
Wait.
He does deserve the respect.
Wait a second.
Hold on one second. Seventh Power says, "Blessed is he who shepherds the weak through the valley of Yoshi." That's great. By the
That's
way,
beautiful.
I want to give a big thanks. I don't know what's going on. So many people are signing up for comments on GoNintendo lately. I don't know what's doing it. I'm not doing anything different. I just want to A, recognize you, B, thank you. Also over on Threads, thank you very much for joining on Threads. You're getting the same thing you get on X, but I would say it's friendlier and a nicer interface. So thank you, Threads. Thank you, Bruce Willis. Thank you, Museum. Nicky Hill, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, I didn't really read the whole article. You just talked about it. But my guess is he was probably put in prison and released on the third day.
Oh, that's it.
Nice.
I actually thought he was dead, but then we have more Switch successor rumors. These come from YouTube channel Moore's Law is Dead and content creator The Fox on the Broken Silicon podcast. Why trust them? They have done inside information before. I saw that they talked about stuff and I was like, I'm going to hang back on this. Then IGN ran it to give it their cosign. I was like, if IGN's co-signing, I feel comfortable sharing as a rumor. So that's why I did it. If you were wondering, now you know. Here's what their podcast talked about. Switch successor will have Xbox Series S level ray tracing functionality. So that's lovely to hear. And that's, every game that comes out on X comes out on S as well. So what more? That's great. I think that's a great level if that's true. Do I care about ray tracing? Less than anything in the entire world, but I know people care about it.
That used to be a hot topic back in the Wii days.
When
right?
was the last time you looked at a game and you're like, wow, look at the ray tracing on that game?
When did ray
Stick it
tracing
up your
start?
ass. Huh?
I know.
When
it's
did
been a
ray
When did
topic
it
for a
start
while.
on computers a few years ago?
I still couldn't even tell you
Consoles
what it is. I know we've
last
talked
gen
about
more
it
this
a
gen.
bunch.
What is it? It makes shiny things look more shiny.
I know,
That's it.
but like we talk about it so much, and yet I still couldn't even. And
Oh,
like,
that's
how
why.
little
it's
I care.
very
Because
important
it's
to people.
tracing over the rays that are making it shiny. It's tracing to polish them up.
WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I remember when I got Miles Morales for the PS5. It was like the first game for the PS5. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be amazing. Ray tracing. I'm gonna see into every single apartment, and you can, but it's just like little blocks of furniture, and it's like all the same furniture.
That's got
and it was
nothing
like,
to do with ray tracing.
what
at
am
all.
I-
Like looking inside the apartment is like same thing we do on PS1. You just have to build it. But yeah, you probably know, this stuff makes me angry, but you probably know how much I was fighting my anger when Dan was here and he was playing that Matrix tech demo, and he was like goo goo gaga over it, and I'm like, this isn't what games are gonna look like. Like this is all smoke and mirrors to make people think that's made me
When
so
was
angry.
this?
This
What?
was over a year ago.
yeah, it doesn't even matter because he doesn't have his PlayStation 5 in the same place where he sleeps.
He bought
so
the PS5 because it has the graphics to not play any games on it, to never use the system, but he's got to get it because it's whatever. He can do whatever he wants with his
He
money.
wanted
It's
to
fine.
take
It's just
photos.
all of the reasons makes no sense to me.
We
at
can
all.
do what he wants with his money, but once he has the system, he's not allowed to hook it up.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Yeah, like the Matrix demo on PS5 was meant to showcase like the power of the engine and the system and all that, but like it's not what you would actually see in a game because there's no like it's just basically like a big empty nothing with like a couple cars that drive around and that's it. There's no like gameplay mechanics going on. But whatever. Besides the point. Switch Successor will be clocked faster than we expect in docked mode. So the Switch has a clock speed, just as any system does, but the clock speeds are set at a certain spot to lock what the system is capable of doing, because pushing beyond that makes the system hotter and can make things unstable. So the Switch is capable of doing more than what we see it do, but Nintendo's clocked it to keep it safe. That's a par for the course on any system. But they're saying the Switch's Successor will be clocked faster than you expect. We don't know what the clock speed is, but it will be better than what your average expectations would be. Switch Successor will be clocked crazy low when in handheld mode for better battery. Again, makes sense. You don't need as much processing power in handheld because you're rendering at a lower resolution. It's going to be 1080p if the rumors are to be believed. So 4K on TV, 1080p on handheld, big difference there. So overclocked and docked, underclocked on handheld to get a better battery life, but you don't need as much processing power handheld. All makes sense.
I know this is ignorant, but I wish we just stuck with the bit system because
now it would
it's
be
so
like
boring to hear you. I know what you're saying. Like there are people interested in what you're saying, and you know what you're talking about, and I know what you're saying. But like, I almost fell asleep listening to that. We're talking about a new Nintendo system. I mean, I used to get excited over this
4,000
stuff,
bits.
and now, thank you. The bit wars are back, baby.
Well, that's the
because
thing.
I know what's higher and what's lower. I don't need to hear this and that and all this stuff. I know people like it, but like for me, I'm an old man now, but like it's just depressing because like I'm supposed to want to play games and want to get the new system and be excited, and all this stuff just makes me sleepy.
Well, that's it. Like all that stuff back then.
Welcome to your 40s, pal.
was so dumb, but it was all they all used it for marketing buzz because that's literally what it was. If we tell people this has a higher number than the number last time, then they will be excited about it. Why? They don't know why. It's just that we know 16's higher than 8 and we're sheeple. Oh, it makes me so mad. Well, I used to be like that too when I was 9 years old because I was like, 18's better than this number. Of course, that's better. And you'd be like, this game's on an 8 meg cartridge and this game's on a 32 meg cartridge. Oh my God. Could you imagine? No, because it doesn't matter at all. And they put it on the front of the box because stupid kids were like, look at this bigger number than this number.
Not gonna lie,
And
I'm
we all get
sweating a
that stuff
little bit.
nowadays. It's just now it's ray tracing and clock speeds and resolutions and frame rates. It's all the same garbage.
And every bully kid in your high school is now in your chat room, and even the bullies at the school next to you are there too. And guess what? Every school in the world is filled in these comment sections.
I should clarify and say, at least when it comes to numbers, resolutions and frame rates are better because they really do mean something. Like, you know, a higher 1080p versus 4K. Yes, you can see a difference in that. That is tangible. And frame rate, if something's at 30 frames versus 60 frames, yes, not everybody notices or cares or sees that, but you can see that. But you know, all the clock speeds and all, like, those are numbers that are stupid. They aren't. I believe them to be silly to argue. But we've moved, so people still latch onto the numbers stuff.
Sure.
But we've moved away from the 16 meg cartridge, 32 meg cartridge, 64-bit system, all that stuff. So.
What's like? There was a recent game that just came out. I thought that was at 30 frames per second, and
Lots of games do.
people
Yeah.
were complaining. But the person,
They,
was
if
just
it's
like,
30 frames, they complain all the time. Yeah, the Bayonetta guy was saying Origins was at 30
well,
frames
no,
per
I know
second.
that there
I
was
think
something.
Princess Peach.
I'm
Princess
sure
Peach was
Princess
probably
Peach
the
is at
game they
30
were
frames per second.
complaining
No
about.
way in hell is that 60 frames per second. Paper Mario is going to be 30 frames per second. The remake.
No, there was something like a game on.
Starfield was 30 frames per second.
Maybe that was the one.
They're doing an update soon that does 60 frames per second, but it came out 30 frames per second. Yes. I believe, I don't know if it was X and S or just S, but it was 30 frames per second. Yes, there are big modern games that come out that are 30 frames per second. It is true. It does happen. And boy, do people get angry about it because they can't play. Now, I've learned that people get sick from lower frame rates, and that I've looked into it, and that's very much a thing. If you're complaining that frame rates 30 frames per second is bad for you because it makes you sick, totally get it. Totally get it. What's the reality of people that actually get sick from that? I don't know.
Ma, I'm sick. Give me a PS5.
But then you get your PS5 and there's still games at 30 frames per second. So what are you going to do? And
I'm going to throw up.
Nintendo's interested in both extended
I
battery
heard if you
as well as
downvote
a low fan
things
rate.
on the internet, that makes you feel better.
So in handheld mode, Nintendo wants to make sure you have a longer battery life and a fan that's not screaming at you when you play. And that's why you use a lower clock speed, because that gets you both. Lower clock speed, longer battery life, the fan's not going crazy. That's what they want. There you go. So again, rumors, not 100% true, but you know, it is what it is. Mr. Koi has the most upvoted comment, and they say the Series S has considerably outsold the X. Xbox problem in the last decade has been due to its software, not its hardware. The Switch successor catching up to the lower end of the current generation of consoles power-wise would be huge. And I can't believe you still don't feel like it would be enough. He's arguing with someone in the comments, especially with the Switch running laps around its competition in the past 8 years while using PS3 level specs. Generational leaps are becoming even smaller and less meaningful. So I don't think Nintendo will be left in the dust, even if the PS6 and the next Xbox come out in the next few years. It's so true, Mr. Koi. I could not agree more. The Switch is the poster child for why the general public, A, doesn't know about this stuff, and B, doesn't care. They just see a Mario game and they want to play it, or a Pokemon game and they want to play it, or whatever game and they want to play it. They're not like, what's the resolution? What's the frame rate? What chip is used inside the system? That's for uber nerds, and I mean it in a good way, that like technology. They want to know that stuff. But the Switch doesn't sell 130 million units, and all those people are like, 30 frames per second. They don't care. They don't care. How many more generations of Nintendo do we have to have in the hardware side of things where you realize hardware, to the vast majority, doesn't matter when it comes to techs or tech side of things. It doesn't matter. The DS was far inferior to the PSP. The DS far outsold the PSP. The Wii was far inferior to the 360 and the PS3, tech-wise. The Wii was a runaway success. So I don't know how many more times you need to see it happen, but it is what it is. Here you go. I just got a... Oh, no, that's going... Never mind. Moving on. The Legend of Zelda movie director is the same guy, Wes Ball, who just did Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Is that what it's called?
The newest one? I believe so.
And he's doing like the Maze Runner series as well, the reboot for that. But he's also doing the Legend of Zelda movie. And...
Oh, great. So expect Donkey Kong in that one too, I guess, huh? Sorry.
Oh, apes.
Yeah.
I got you. Sorry. I should have gotten that way quicker. I was looking at something
Beautiful.
else.
Perfect.
He was asked whether Link is going to talk in this movie. And he said, quote,
I just saved
There
you
we
from
go.
Ganon.
He said, quote, I'll have it just like the game. You have a little dialogue box that pops up in the movie and you get to pick which one you want. Link does communicate to villagers all over throughout the game. You just don't hear his voice. End quote. So that is very true. I really don't think you're going to have a Zelda movie where Link doesn't speak. Maybe he won't speak a lot, but I think he's going to speak. And that's fine. He does talk in the games. That's exactly right. He talks to people in the games all the time. You just don't hear him.
We've had series and films where the protagonist does not communicate, right?
It doesn't happen often, but it has happened. Yes.
It can be effective.
It can. I really don't
I don't
see them
think
because
so.
they're going to cast some major face
We
as
would
the
use
role of Link.
Well,
he's not a vocal,
Chris
verbal
Pratt.
communicator.
Chris Pratt will be Link, yes, and they're not going to. He's the voice everybody loves. Garfield, Chris Pratt.
It's the voice of
Mario,
America.
Chris Pratt.
The
Pinocchio?
Lego
Guy, Chris Pratt. You're right.
Onward guy, Chris
Oh,
Pratt.
yeah.
Onward. There you go. There's no better voice actor than Chris Pratt, who sounds like he does an okay job when voice acting.
Also, let's just acknowledge that Seth Rogen is getting a lot of voice acting jobs. Like his
For
name
being
comes
Seth
up
Rogen?
quite a bit, and he just flat out says, "I'm not going to act. I'm just going to be me." And it's just like, "Oh, wait, we've got another part for you, sir. We got another part for you, sir." Like,
And
what?
you know what? That's completely fine with me because he's totally upfront. Says I don't do voices. I do Seth Rogen, and they still hire him. So then I got no complaints with him. Chris Pratt should be like, you know what? I'm not very good. I don't really do voices. It's like I don't know what voice Garfield's voice is supposed to sound like. Like
Like
Lorenzo,
somebody who
what's his
hates
face,
Mondays.
He was fantastic. That will always be
Lorenzo
Garfield's voice
music.
to me. But I don't need Garfield to always sound like that. But Chris Pratt, could you try a little something? Can we have just a little not Chris Pratt? Just something?
I mean, we had Bill Murray, and he didn't really put any.
Yeah, I don't
Thing
like
to
that
it.
either. I don't. I haven't seen those movies. Maybe they're good, but I will say this about Bill Murray. Bill Murray's regular voice sounds closer to Lorenzo
Lorenzo
music.
music.
Our
Well,
Yes,
that's the person who did the original Garfield,
Lorenzo
cartoon?
music.
Yeah.
because that
The
he's-
world's greatest name. By the way.
I didn't look that up exactly for that person Lorenzo, but whoever was the voice of the original Garfield was the voice of Peter Venkman in the animated.
Yes,
So
that I
they're
know.
in it there.
There's a connection.
Mhm,
All right, so time is a flat circle. It's like poetry, whatever. What's his face
So they
said?
rhyme.
They rhyme. Yeah, all that stuff. in the words of George Lucas. meh. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the movie. We'll see what Chris Pratt does with his role.
Yeah, I just saw a TikTok. This is unrelated, but it deals with voice acting. John Lithgow, the actor, was talking in a TikTok about how he recorded the voice for Hades in the Hercules movie, and he spent like over a year doing it, and he was like a huge part of the process and all of this, and then like the movie comes out and it's James Woods, and he's just like, what the heck?
I didn't know that happened. Wow.
Yeah, but then I guess he was telling the story while he was talking about being hired on Shrek, so he still got to
Oh.
do like a villainous voice, but it seemed like a lot of work to like be kind of surprised that you weren't the voice of.
It's another movie where a lot of lines were recorded by one person and then it was somebody else.
Oh,
because
yeah,
Chris
Chris
Farley was
Farley.
Shrek, and then it became what's his face? French fry guy left a
Mike
comment
Myers.
on this story about Legend of Zelda and says
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
that's exactly what their
Nice.
comment says. Thank you, French fry guy. Very quickly going to say this: Super Nintendo World opens 2025 in Universal Orlando, and yes, people, this means all the Mario stuff
Oh.
and all the Donkey Kong stuff at the same time. Did you watch this video? Brought a tear to my eye. Cannot even imagine being
no.
there. Gonna jizz my pants.
I-
Gonna pee my pants. Gonna
I-
poop my pants. Gonna
You are
cry my
gonna go?
eyes. At some point, I'll be there eventually. But oh my
We
god,
need to go when they have their soft open. That way, it's not as
Not gonna
crowded.
be soft for me.
it won't be as crowded.
Like
Like
do a
we need-
podcast from one of the
Putting it
rides.
out into the universe. Fingers crossed. Nintendo has invited me to many a thing in the past. I would imagine they will do a special invite for this. Man, if I could get in on anything, that would be it.
I mean, we also have the other one that's in California that we can go to now.
That ain't got no Donkey Kong, and I want to be there for. I want to
I'm
ride that roller
excited
coaster.
for that ride. I am incredibly excited for that ride. I've been on a lot of their other rides. They're pretty brilliant. I'm not a big fan of all their other virtual things.
agree.
So they're, when they actually have a roller coaster and they pull it off and it's awesome, I'm there.
I just want to meet Candy Kong in person. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, I take it back. I want to meet Funky
Tasty.
Kong in person. Lanky Kong, maybe. He'll be Lanky Kong's gonna
There's
be like the
they gotta
janitor or
have
something.
like banana treats and stuff,
Are
right?
you kidding me? Yeah.
Like
Probably,
banana
you're gonna be eating
pudding
bananas.
stuff?
You're gonna have bananas shoved down your throat, up your ass. They're doing it all. The banana. You're gonna be riding banana bikes. You're gonna be throwing giant banana peels behind you while you're at the park. I'm sure it's gonna be all banana, all the time. North America, what we got
Is
this
that a
week? Let me tell
banana
you.
in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
It is both. Thank you. Endless Ocean Luminous, your latest Nintendo first-party published release, is available. I heard it's not so great. Adventure Field Remake. All Noobs Must Die, Craft Survival Mine. Arcade Archives Newman Athletics. Not the Newman from Seinfeld. By the way, screw that guy. Holy moly.
No, what did I
Seinfeld?
miss about Newman?
You didn't hear? No. Seinfeld, not Newman.
Oh yeah, Newman. Yeah, Newman. Wait, Seinfeld.
That's like that kid in the hall.
Is there something specific? I just know that like
His
everything that
comments
I see
about
of him,
woke culture and PC and all that stuff that he made this past week.
I mean, I
I'll after show it because
Yeah.
I'm hot about it.
I've just seen so many other things where he's just a complete jerk about everything to everyone.
PC woke culture. I can't believe
No,
it.
you
We
don't have
can't
to
make
tell
any jokes nowadays anymore. By the way, go watch my Pop-Tarts movie on Netflix. Shove it up your ass, Seinfeld. Jesus Christ. Armed and Gelatinous Couch Edition. Baking Time. Bomb Cat. Coconut Farm 3D. Corgi's Travel. Cyber Citizen Shockman 3. The Princess from Another World. First time ever. The third Cyber Citizen game has been localized. There you go. Dungeon Smash. El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron HD. I have that on the PS3. I was one of the probably 6 people that bought that game. But now you can play the HD remaster. Exit Slum 11. Finding America, the Pacific Northwest Collector's Edition. Foxyland Collection. That has the first and the second game. Freddy Fish 2, The Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse. And Freddy Fish 5, The Case of the Creature Coral Cove. You can also get the Freddy Fish collection. And yes, those are the classic edutainment titles revived for Switch. Full Metal Sergeant, Horrific Xanatorium, Night Sim Life, that's KNIGHT, Matsutake Game, MotoGP 24, My Horse Stories, Ninja Flip, Ninja Shuriken Master, Outbreak, The Fedora Files, What Lydia Knows, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs, Pirates Golden Quest, Recycle Master, Reigns Complete Set, Splash, Slot and Learn Kanji, So On, The Toy Wonderland, Space Mercenary Defense Force, Supermarket Shopping Simulator, Surmount, Nicky Hill surmounts for me and you. It's a co-op climbing game where you're tethered together. Looks really good. Swipe right or left geography binary quiz. The Night of the Rabbit. The Prisoner of the Night. Timberdoku. Koridama 2 Brave Challenge. Tohu Mistia's Izakaya. Izakaya is like a bar and a restaurant. Tractor Farming Simulator 3D. Train your brain, spot the difference with dog photos. Triggerheart Excelica, and World War Battle of the Bulls. Tell me about it. Fight it every single day.
Is that a banana in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Joe Shabadoo says Tractor Farming Simulator 2D, right? We got all these 3D simulators. Where are the 2D simulators? Josh, if you please.
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Well, thank you, Josh. It's always nice to hear from you. In Europe, for the week of May 2nd, the year of our Lord 2024, these are the games that came out and are coming out. We got Class of Heroes 1 and 2, Endless Ocean Luminous, Armed and Gelatinous, Before the Green Moon. All of these seem like they're bleeding together. Endless Ocean Luminous, Armed and Gelatinous. No, not the same. Before the Green Moon. Stop. Cyber Citizen Shockman 3. Stop. Cyber Poly RPG Dark City. Stop. Dracula vs. Monsters. What?
We always knew it would come to this.
Really? Like they all teamed up against good old Drac?
Maybe they're playing sports.
They had to.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe they're playing Manhunt at night.
Monster Hunt. El Shaddai
You're
HD Remaster. Freddy Fish 5. And
Fish fingers, 5 fingers.
And if you don't want to jump in at 5, there's the Freddy Fish Collection.
Get all of them, yeah.
Yeah. Free Lives Collection.
Which ironically is not a free game.
Full Metal Sergeant. What? Hentai Tales Volume 3. You played Volume 1. You got halfway through Volume 2 and you put it down, but now you're going to pick it up and you're going to pick up Volume 3.
Working your
How's-
penis.
Jorkin your peanuts. The hentai
How's
volume.
tailed spelled?
Regular, not animal.
Jetpack George. Hey, George. Look at you.
Just a little something I threw together. It's overshadowed by the hentai game.
Sorry, George.
It's okay. It was fun to ride the jetpack.
It was a really good line.
It was a good line. Yeah.
You're riding a fine line.
Yeah.
Careful, you don't want to cross the line. Let's move on. Kanjazoku 2 drift car games. Life Bubble. MotoGP 24.
Good on that. Good on Milestone. They put out literally every installment in the MotoGP series on Switch yearly since the Switch has been out. I applaud that.
Oh, so that's the year of our Lord 24.
That is right. That's right.
Hey,
Hey, Ninja, get a flip.
hey, Ninja, get a flip. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say that. Recycle Master. No one ever recycles, right? It just all goes single stream right
Well,
to the
that's
ocean.
what we know now. Yeah, it all goes to the same place anyway.
Uh,
That's way
Splash.
better than its prequel, Recycle Apprentice.
Yeah. That's where you're doing the real grunt work.
Splash, is it? Or S-Clash?
Splash. Yeah.
Splash. Oh, Splash.
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 I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems like a
Splash makes a
typo.
whole lot of sense.
Yeah. He's like, Splash. Yeah. You never heard of Splash before?
Well, I mean, there's no
reading-
dash between the two letters.
I
Why
know.
would you say S?
Oh, like there's never been a typo.
Yeah, like he's reading the weirdest titles
Okay.
ever. You got to get
There
it.
have been typos. I
Them-
agree. But if you were listening during North American, I said Splash as well.
I wasn't listening to North
Mhm,
America.
mhm.
Don't you listen to the most
Yeah.
exciting part of the podcast?
Sometimes I do.
Preparing himself.
Slot and learn kanji. So on. The Toy Wonderland. Space Mercenary Defense Force. Space Mercenary Defense Force. Space Routine. What's your space routine? Find out by picking up Space Routine on the Nintendo Switch. Stupid Cars.
Love that name. I really do.
Supermarket Shopping Simulator. Surmount. Tales from the Candleforth. Tales from the Underrealm. Hazel.
The
Hey.
taint.
Is that a banana in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Tell me your story.
Looks cool. It's a game inspired by like a story someone's grandmother told them. It seems pretty interesting. It's gonna be emotional, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Tell me,
it's sad,
babe.
Check it out.
sad. The Fall of Elena Temple.
Raw meets. What's the opposite of kryptonite?
Catnip.
Raw meets catnip. Deux kryptonite. That game.
Why is
What does that mean?
I think it's everything you would not like, but it's everything that I like. I've played a version of it already. Really enjoyed it.
What is it? A text adventure or something?
No, it's like a virtual, basically like Tiger handheld game. It's like you're playing on a handheld in a game, and it's like black and white.
So meta.
It is meta.
There's no dinosaurs. Tohu Mistia's Izakaya.
Which is
Let's
a
get that up.
restaurant or a bar.
Oh, there you go.
Train your brain, spot the difference with dog photos. That sounds like something
That's
I
a
might
dog.
like.
That is not a dog.
That one's got a tongue. That one's got a tail.
That's Dr. Kurosawa.
Trigger Heart, Excelica, and Where is Drake? Yeah, whatever happened to Drake? Puts out that filthy
Nathan.
photo and then disappears.
The
I've never
stork.
actually seen the
He's
photo.
Hot Topic right now. Him and another
He's
rapper
at Hot Topic.
are beefing with each other. I don't remember the other rapper.
Oh, no.
I'm not much. I know what's going on in rap, but I don't listen to too much rap. I just know Drake and somebody else are beefing.
Hostess?
A
Are
diss
they-
track just came out.
One of them's right foot creep booming with a heater on the other one. I
What?
heard.
Those are lyrics to a rap song,
Uh-huh.
mostly.
Mhm.
Is there a comment, Nikhil?
Yeah, Steister sent out a comment, says, "What's coming out, bruv?"
There you go. Moving on to our next top story. Knuckles came out on Paramount Plus. We all knew it was going to be a hit.
It's already
We all
out.
knew it was going to be a big hit. Well, it's the biggest hit. Paramount Plus has confirmed, or just Paramount in general has confirmed that in 3 days after launching, Knuckles on Paramount Plus brought in over 4 million hours of watch time worldwide.
Wow.
That was a record
No
for
one
an original
cares
series on
about
Paramount.
me.
6 episodes. They're each roughly an hour, and about 1.4 million complete watches of the series took place in those 3 days.
Wait, it's a 6-episode
Series.
miniseries. God,
Um,
that's terrific. Good for
congratulations
everyone who
to
likes
Adam
that.
Pally.
Congratulations.
that Idris Elba is living it up.
Good for him.
And this series does parlay into the third Sonic movie. How, we're not sure yet, but it will go into the next movie.
Off of this season, or is there like another season?
This
maybe?
season, because the new movie comes out this year, December.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. I believe I say that down below. No, I usually say that in every post. Of course, I don't say it here.
Now, here's the question. Do we have any behind the scenes footage? Was Idris Elba on set in a mocap suit the whole time?
Is this a joke ask or a real ask?
I would love to see him in a motion
guarantee-
capture suit the whole time.
He phoned it in
I
from his
guarantee
house.
GoNintendo has more behind the scenes footage of Knuckles, the TV series, than any other website.
And who plays
I
Knuckles, the
guarantee it.
character, or the?
Well, I don't know, some kind of ping pong suit. I got no idea. But they got plenty of videos with Idris Elba talking about Knuckles and recording lines. So, but yes, we got behind the scenes. We got interviews with the cast. We got snippets from the show. By the way, you already have Paramount Plus. Never mind.
I'm excited to hear what you have to
I was
say.
going to say, for those who don't have Paramount Plus, remember this is a 6-episode show. You can watch the first episode on the Paramount Plus YouTube channel for free. So you could decide if you want to get a week's trial of Paramount Plus by watching the show and be
And
like,
if
you
you
know, I
did
want to
wanna
see the
get-
other 5 episodes.
And if you did want to get it, it's only 6 episodes. So.
Knuckles is a new live-action series that follows Knuckles on a hilarious and action-packed journey of self-discovery as he agrees to train Wade Whipple, that is, as his protege and teach him the ways of the Echidna
The Wades.
warrior.
Teach him
You
the
know
ways.
Wade Whipple because you saw the second movie.
He was a classmate of mine.
Who's Wade Whipple?
That's right. You know Adam Pally.
Yeah, that's why I said congratulations. to
You
Adam
guys
Pally.
are,
not close.
come on, take the joke. Would you say you guys are Pallies?
Pals.
Oh, is that what we're going for?
I was hoping you
I
said
thought-
Pallies,
I thought
but I
I
also
was
hope you
thinking-
said echidnas because that would
yeah.
be wrong.
Or it's
I've
like,
known him since we were kidnas.
yeah.
Oh, Lucius 6 says, meh, it lost it about halfway in when Knuckles becomes more of a side character to Wade. I have heard people do like the show, but their main complaint is not a lot of Knuckles in the show. It's more Wade than Knuckles.
That's interesting.
It also has the guy from Game of Thrones, the Mountain? No,
That's
the guy
a
with the
character.
burned face?
Oh, Sander Clegane, the Hound.
Hound.
Oh,
It has the Hound. He's the
no.
main
What's he
villain in this
doing?
show.
Oh, good for him. I'm glad he's got a job.
I heard by the multiple reviews that I saw from critics.
He's excellent, as
I
usual.
heard he's a lot of fun in the show.
Of course he is.
So the
He's
game,
best.
this show doesn't really. It's just a character of Knuckles in this world.
You saw the second movie. I didn't. I don't know.
Are you going to watch this show?
No, but
If I ever get around to the
that
second movie, I'll
that
probably check
the
it out.
Hound guy is not based in the Sonic world.
I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. He's the bad guy is all I know. I don't know what he's doing. What bad guys we got in Sonic? We got Eggman. We got everybody else is an animal. So probably not because
Oh,
he's a
man.
human in this show. So
Wonder if he's putting little birds into robots.
Oh no!
does that happen in the movie? I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
No, the movie it's all about power. It's trying to deal with the energy crisis.
Nintendo continues their mission to squash emulators, and as we've said before, Nintendo went after Yuzu and got them taken down, and the people behind Yuzu have to pay like $2 million, and then
The car
other
company?
companies were like, other companies were like, well, or other people and companies were like, we're going to make our own emulator. Nintendo jumped in to stop them. And people are like, you can't stop emulators, which is probably true, but Nintendo's not going to stop trying either. Nintendo, with one DMCA, has managed to swat down over 8,000 Switch emulators and emulator clones. One DMCA sent to GitHub, which is where all this stuff is stored. Nintendo sent to DMCA. GitHub was like, well, we don't want to be legally responsible for this stuff. And GitHub went in and did a mass deletion of all this stuff. So plenty of clones, plenty of other Switch emulators, all gone. A Nintendo rep actually commented on this matter, and they said the reported repositories offer and provide access to the Yuzu emulator or code based on the Yuzu emulator. The Yuzu emulator is primarily designed to play Switch games. Specifically, Yuzu illegally circumvents Nintendo's technological protection measures and runs illegal copies of Nintendo Switch games. End quote. So there you go. 8,000, over 8,000 Switch emulators or Yuzu emulator clones gone, done and dusted. The snap. I can't snap, but there you go. Close enough.
How many Switches have sold since the Switch came out?
133 million.
133 million versus 8,000. Worth it.
Well, is this a joke and you want me to move on, or do you want me
I don't know what side to be on. I don't like people stealing stuff, so I guess I'm on your side, but I'm just trying to hear you out.
So
from
you
that
could have
point.
one Switch emulator that facilitates hundreds of millions of lost software.
But only one person has this emulator.
No. It's hosted in one place.
Oh.
Millions download.
Oh, okay.
So that's why, like, Yuzu emulator, one thing was out. Tears of the Kingdom lost 1 million sold before the game even launched through emulation.
I see.
So 1 million people get the emulator, of which one exists.
So it's 8,000 emulators were shut down, but they could have had 1 million people on each emulator.
And they were clones of the Yuzu emulator or another Switch emulator. So yeah, that one listing for a Yuzu clone could have had 3 million people who downloaded it. And they're downloading illegal games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Most of them, not all of them. Most of them were downloading illegal games. Do I have evidence? No. Educated guess, but
we need a new one of those commercials.
saying half of them were getting games illegally is being really generous.
I just hope they were enjoying the games, because I wouldn't be surprised if they just like get into a cycle of downloading games and never playing them. You know, like
it's the same as those who pay for games too. So I
Yeah.
guess I can't fault them there. Game Freak, most upvoted comment. Get ready for people complaining that Nintendo is the worst because they actually try to stop people from stealing your games. Hey, I'm the choir and you're preaching to me. I don't know what else to say. I'm not against, as I've said, emulators. Companies need to do a better job of making their systems playable and usable for those who are differently abled. And I understand that those who are differently able to go to emulators to enjoy games because they can't do it on the traditional hardware. As long as they buy the actual copy of the game, you're cool with me. That's fine by me. I got no complaints, but I'm not the company, so I understand and respect and get that part of it. The illegal piracy people, I was with you when I was a kid. Then I grew up. I don't know what to say. I'm not with you anymore.
That's all I said. We need to get more VHS back into circulation, and we got to get more of those pirating trailers at the top of the thing.
You wouldn't download a car.
Yeah.
We got more in the Zelda movies from the director. I thought we had one. I should have done this earlier. This is Wes Ball again. He says, we're working on it. I think it's going to be great. Fans are going to be happy. Legend of Zelda to me is one of the most important things in my life ever. You know, next to Star Wars. I've played Legend of Zelda throughout my childhood into my adulthood. You know what I mean? I am a fan. I am a fellow fan. I will go to the ends of the earth to make sure that this is a movie we all hope it will be. He is a legit fan. He has talked about Zelda many times in his career, so he is a legit fan. The man is capable of making good movies. I know that. I believe him. I believe he will do his absolute best.
You believe he will do his best.
Yeah.
I believe that too by what he's saying.
There's other people
Are they going to
involved.
let him do anything? No. Is it going to be not good? Maybe.
Well,
same with
Nintendo they're going to be very protective of
Yeah.
it. But there are other people involved financially and everything else that pull strings.
Nintendo's not the
and-
only one pulling the strings here, yes, but they certainly are. They got a good seat at the
I
table.
mean,
Listen,
wait,
somebody who I know is a
I thought we were
lifelong fan
talking
of
about
Zelda.
a series.
That's great.
They're not. It's not a series.
movie. One
It's
live
a-
action
It's better
movie.
than somebody who they give the job to and he's just like, who
Yeah.
the heck is this?
Like, the Witcher people who are like, we didn't read the books or play the games. We feel we didn't need to. And Henry Cavill is like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Why are you
Right.
here adapting?
Or
this?
Walton Goggins, who didn't play the game.
Yeah, but he wasn't like going against.
I'm talking about writers. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about an actor. We're talking about directors and writers here. An actor, I don't give a crap. If the actor's not going to. As long as the script is there and the lines are there and the story makes sense,
I heard
I don't
the,
care what the actor has.
I heard the writer director of Don McKay is writing this film.
We are in for a trip then.
Anyone listening to this is like, Don McKay, what the heck
They're
is
gonna
that?
look it up and they're
Listen,
gonna be
we
like,
just
They're gonna
dropped-
watch it
we
on
just dropped the
Tubi, and it's gonna
info,
be
you
the
do the
biggest
work.
movie that ever was
next week
released.
they're gonna come back and say, "Thank you for name dropping that movie because you changed my life for the better or the worse." We'll find out.
14 people streamed it.
Hawk says, "I'm gonna be happy. Thank
I watched
goodness.
it 13 times.
Now all my fears are laid to rest." Seriously though, the fact that he's a Star Wars fan makes me wonder if he's a happy Star Wars fan, and if he feels like the current owners of the Star Wars franchise have served their fans well. It could be a good way of knowing what kind of movie he's trying to make. I saw somebody on X say it. They left a perfect reply. They said, "Zelda fans are never happy. That's it.
Right.
Star Wars fans are never happy. Zelda fans are never happy." There's certain
feel like
franchises
we've
that
been
have fans
happy.
that are never happy. I mean, like, if you're looking for comment online, they're never happy. Everything's the worst and everything's wrong. And like you want to find people that hate something the most, go to the fan base. That's who hates it the most.
That is a
That's how it
shame.
works, so.
That does seem how it works.
And that's how my algorithms online work. They show me, they're like, "Oh, you want drinking stuff? Oh, you want to see people who hate the things you like? Oh, you want to see emulator stuff?" I get it all. Can't stop.
Well, that's a valid point though too, right?
People hate stuff. Yep.
What Hawk said. No, because who's the producer? What's his name?
Of what?
Star Wars and oh my gosh.
Kathy?
Bad Robot. What is that?
JJ.
JJ Abrams.
Well, he's not. Is he doing Star Wars stuff anymore?
Well, he did the trilogy. He was the producer of the trilogy. Right?
Okay.
And Star Trek, like he got involved in so many things and people like get behind him on so many things, but then I guess what happened with Star Wars? Like he directed the first
one only.
I thought he didn't want to direct the second. I think he
Yes.
didn't want to
wanted
direct
other
all
people,
three.
he wanted to bring other people in, but like
Yeah, I don't think he was interested. And then they offered
I
him
feel like
money, I guess.
things that he's gotten involved with.
I think what happened is the backlash to the second one was so bad that they were like, "Oh,
But there's just so much hype around him because it's like, oh, he did whatever 8mm, not 8mm. That's the Nicolas Cage one. 8.
The one with the children that make their
Yeah,
movie.
8 Mile."
What is that
I don't
one
know why
called?
I can't think of it. Super 8.
Super 8, which
I'll take
like
the 8.
at the time was like, oh, it's like very nostalgic for Steven Spielberg, and it's like, oh, it's this is our new it person for making films that people want to like, that feel good movies that people enjoy and everything else. And then he started doing all these things that were nostalgic for a lot of other people and like very specific groups and fan bases and stuff, and everybody wanted to support him, and then things kind of fell flat. Kind of get a little nervous about that then, and again, it's not just because it's the one person might be really into
But
it,
how does this relate to Zelda?
because like all going off of the comment that was made too, and how Yui Bowl, not
Wes
Wes
Ball.
Ball said that, like, I didn't read it, so it's right here.
Just
Well,
want-
I think he
Like you're in the next Star Wars, like you can be really excited about it, you can go all in, you can be like really pump it full of nostalgic moments and stuff like that, and it can still fall flat and just miss its mark. Like not everything is going to be X-Men 97, right?
X-Men 97 is a real standout. So
And that's
That's
what a lot
true.
of people say, like you're, but then again, I don't know, maybe it's not going to follow the trends of
here's the
everything
truth:
else.
we never know at all about anything
No.
ever. It doesn't matter what team's involved; things can go wrong no matter what. So we
Yeah.
just got to see the movie and
I
make our
think-
minds
I
up.
think you're right to just be positive that he's a fan.
That's the only
and a
point I know,
genuine
and that's a
fan.
good point. If he's a genuine fan that we know was a fan from before he got the deal for the movie. Because if he got the deal for the movie, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big Zelda fan." I'd be like, "Are you? I hope so." But
Also,
Yeah, it's like I love stomping Koopas.
exactly,
you know.
exactly.
also, I think
Second take? No, that one's good. Send it out. I gotta go. I gotta kill a cat or whatever the hell he did.
I mean, people are going to get hyped on it, whatever, but I think we also just need to take it easy going into it, because it's probably going to, like, it's not going to go all in all the ways we want it to. It's going to go towards a mass market and try to pull people in so that it can then
I literally have zero
sequels and stuff like
expectations.
that.
I'm just gonna go see the movie. I don't care. I'll complain after I see the movie. Like now, there's no show me a trailer and I'll have something to say. Right now, we don't know anything. So other than Chris Pratt is Link, which we're all on board with. So.
And Ganon.
He's playing Ganon as well. Wow.
Oh, no,
Um,
I'm sorry. Jack Black is Ganon, right?
I thought he was Tingle.
Oh,
Jack Black's Tingle.
Pioro showed his bird face again this week, and as I've always said, there is no better insider to trust than Pioro when it comes to Nintendo stuff. This man knows. Pioro took to Twitter this week, X, but Pioro's a bird, so I'll say Twitter, and he posted a picture with no explanation. He posted the Nintendo World Championships cartridge from 1990. That's all that he posted, the old NES cartridge. And that's all you need. People are like, okay, something's going on with the Nintendo World Championships. Is the cartridge getting a re-release? Is there going to be a digital release? Are the Nintendo World Championships actually coming back? What's going on here? And there's somebody on the site who gave me a little bit of trouble. T27 Duck was like, so if I post a picture of a cartridge on the website or on social media, are you going to share it as a story too? And I said, if you have a track record like Pioro. And then what happened the next day? Oh, an ESRB rating popped up for Nintendo World Championships NES Edition on the Switch. So once again, Pioro, 100% trustworthy right there. The ESRB rating says this is a collection of 2D challenges and platformer games in which players traverse through various modes, speedrun, and survival. Several challenges involve reaching specific points, while others prompt players to defeat small enemies or survive brief battles. Some games depict pixelated characters using small swords or arrows to strike at enemies. Enemies typically get stunned or disappear in a flash. So you might remember on the Wii U there was the NES Remix Collection, which took old school Nintendo games and gave you all new things to do in them, all new challenges. That's very much what the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition sounds like. All we know is A, it's an official project. B, it's been rated by the ESRB, so that means it's content complete. So we should be hearing about this one any day now, but it's official.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Pioro is Reggie. And so under the Pioro name gives actual
What's wrong with you?
gives actual rumor information that is actually
And
that
then the
always
Reggie
hits.
account, it's all.
And then
I
the
gotcha.
Reggie one, he's always putting his pins and he's getting people hyped up over things that don't exist.
There
He's
you go.
playing both
I
sides.
like it. Tendonin says the previous Nintendo World Championships were a ton of fun, way more to my liking than standard esports fare, less like NFL or FIFA, more like the Olympics. I figured they were over once Reggie left. I'd love to be wrong. Well, Tendonin, you left that comment the day before we got the confirmation of the game, so I'm sorry that the championships aren't coming back as we expected.
Weird that he mentioned Reggie too in the comment, and the next thing comes out.
Pio Reggie.
What he did, he announced this rumor as Pioro, and then he bought all kinds of NES cartridge stock.
Man, if you could do that, you would be making a pretty penny because those cartridges are Nintendo didn't sell those cartridges. Those were only used in competition. So that's as good as it gets when it comes to the Nintendo cartridges. That's like hundreds of thousands of dollars for one cartridge, if not more. They were never sold. They were just at competition. So like Blockbuster threw one away someday, or KB Toys threw one away someday, or someone got left at a Nintendo event and it makes its way to a yard sale somehow. If you find one of those, you're set, man.
Unbelievable.
And then finally, last but not least, it is May the 4th. Nintendo is taking advantage of that to celebrate some Star Wars stuff of their own. If you're in Europe or North America,
you underestimate
There
the
you
power
go.
of the dark side.
I knew she was looking for something. If you're in North America or Europe and you're a Switch Online member, you get to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic at no additional cost. So Switch Online
The
members
force
get
is
that
strong
from
with this one.
the 3rd yesterday until the 9th. Play the entirety of the game. If you play it and you don't finish it, you can transfer your save file over to the full game. You'll just need to buy it. But now is a great time to buy the full game as well because it's 50% off. So there you go. May the 4th be with you. That's your top stories. Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
Nothing.
Okay. Nikki Hill, what have you been playing?
Solitaire and 50 other games or whatever. And it played me the Stanley Parable.
Oh, that very much plays you. You are
Yeah.
not the player in that. You are the game.
And I wasn't counting. I don't know how many endings I got to.
There's a lot.
I didn't get to a lot though. There's supposedly up to 40 or something.
Yeah, you got to think
Holy
outside the
cow.
box.
And that's my problem is I don't think outside the
But the
box.
game just ends that quickly. Like you can play it and
It's
be
like
over
a-
like
it's-
Depending on
it's-
what you do, yeah, you'll speed through things. So like,
It's a very unique. Game.
and I got to one thing where I reached heaven, and like, but I don't know what happens after that, because like you can still keep messing around.
Mhm.
Just gives you buttons to press, and you can just keep pressing buttons.
I played it on the computer when it first came out. I
Um,
really liked that, and it was impressive, like how far you could push the game to see new things when you started thinking like weirdly and laterally and ways.
Yeah,
that you
and I guess I
normally
don't think
when
that
you play
way,
a game.
but like it's something that I can pop in and mess around with. But like I spent a couple hours on it, and there is no end.
There are endings. But
There's endings, but there's no like, yeah, it's just something to mess around, like to play with, to mess around with.
Great narrator too.
Well, that's the thing that I really like, is because you do things, and again, I'm thinking way inside the box of just like, oh, there's 2 doors. Oh, he tells me to go through one, I'm gonna go through the other. Like I'm not really getting
I
crazy with
bootleg
things.
Pokemon.
Plus, there's not a lot of things that you can like. There's not a lot of things that you can interact with. So that's what has me kind of messed up. But he has a comment for everything.
Yeah, that guy recorded a lot of lines of dialogue.
And so like that's what you think. Like so, for people who can take it much farther, you do things where you think you've outsmarted the game. There's like, oh, I broke it, and he's got comments.
You
for
have
it.
not. Yeah, they have thought of like everything and anything you could possibly do. And if you think you've thought of something that no one's thought of, they've thought of it.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
It's very interesting. Really cool idea.
So I like that conceptually.
I was going to ask a stupid question. You're playing it on Switch
Yes.
because the deluxe edition like just came out, so you're getting the best of the best.
Did it just come out? I don't know.
Like a month or two ago.
Oh, really? So yeah, I guess I am, because I bought it. I bought it
can tell you
recently.
exactly when it came out.
Ultra Deluxe.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, just $25. Well worth it.
I think I got it much cheaper though. I think it was on sale. That's why I got
Came
it.
out April 27th, 2022, but the Ultra Deluxe version just came out now, like the upgrade.
Right, but I think like a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago there was a big sale, and I think it was part of that. That's how I got it.
There were some big sales, yes.
So that's really it. Yeah. So of course I've got a bunch of games to play, and what do? I play a game that's kind of like, frustratingly
It's new to you.
ridiculous, but it's not not a game. It's
It's a game.
I mean,
It's a game.
It sounds interesting.
it's an experience, and it's
I
not
see.
something.
I
Why you get
saw-
hung up on this stuff? It's a game.
I saw
No,
that he
it's
was
just-
playing it the other day because I was playing something, and I watched the trailer for it, and it looked interesting. I mean, it looked like something totally unique.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been around longer than I've been alive. I mean, not. I'm just making a joke about how I've never heard of this game, and I should have, because it sounds so unique. But
Yeah, won a buttload of awards and deservedly so.
seemed cool, and the voice actor seemed like he was good.
And yeah, it's just I thought it was going to be a little bit more. I didn't know how far it goes with that, and I really didn't know exactly what to expect. I thought it was just very much like a superliminal style game,
Yeah.
where there is still an element of I mean, there is an element of gameplay here, but like in superliminal, I think there's still like an ending to reach. There's like the story progresses to a certain point. For this, like you restart every single time, and like you can try different things.
Yes.
So
And you do hit a wall where you're like, I don't think I can do anything differently, and then eventually you'll like get past the stumbling block, and you'll like something. All of these new things open up, and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of trying this?
right. Well, there was I mean, I also ran into the problem where you've seen happen here. I dozed off, and like the narrator is talking, and I'm just like fading away on my sofa with a controller in my hand, and I'm like, oh man, I just missed all of what he said.
What is this?
Because he like went on like a long speech at one point.
You're making me nervous with all this falling asleep while you're like watching and playing. It's strange.
I have a very unexciting life,
Stand up and play.
and
Stand closer to the TV. Is what you need to do.
and yeah, I don't have a cycle or a pattern. I have nothing to like motivate me to get up and do things or to whatever. So like I'm just in this
So when I'm
cycle.
doing them, I'm falling asleep.
Well, you've only
so-
got one place to sit too. You have everything quarantined for the dog, so you've got like one little spot on the couch for a human's butt,
body
and
knows
everything
that
else
that's the
is
spot
Well, no,
where you
I don't
dog
want to.
area.
I don't want to sit on that other chair and be like this the whole time. I've done that, and it makes me sick.
Maybe if you play
That
with
happened.
handheld.
So the first time I played that, I got sick. I had to put a reticle on there.
Mm.
Like I got really.
So it's
sick.
either get sick or fall asleep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing.
And hopefully you don't get sick, then fall asleep,
Yeah.
and then you end up
Fall
getting
asleep.
sick on your
Getting
in your
sick
sleep.
in your sleep.
What have
I
you been playing? Do Michaels?
I played some. I played some Sea House G's President this week just to kill some
Oh.
time, which is always fun. I played some Animal Crossing New Horizons. Sherb is out. Get him out of
Oh.
here. He was relatively new, but he was kind of boring, and I've got so many lazy villagers. So I wasn't planning on it, but one day he I came to him and he said, I'm thinking of trying food at other islands, all kinds of snacks, and I wonder what's out there that I haven't tried. And I was like, you know what? Go eat those snacks, my friend. Give them a try.
You run
Um,
a tight ship over there.
well, yeah, I guess I do. When I was gonna try to defend that, but when I think about how you probably play the game, you probably get your islanders, and that's it. Whoever you get, and that's it, and they're never leaving, and that's it.
Oh no! If they want to leave, they leave. If they don't want to leave, they don't.
Well, they ask you, so like you just let them all leave then, because they're all gonna ask you eventually over time.
If they do ask me, I think, well, I guess they want to get out of here, so I'll let them leave. Yeah.
All right. Well, then what's me? Then what's that? So we both run tight ships then. I mean, he's out of here. He's out of here. You would have done the same. You would have let him walk out
Yes,
and
I
eat
mean,
snacks all over the world.
But you followed that up by saying I've got a lot of lazy villagers, which is what more I
Well,
was
that's the
talking about.
personality type.
I know, but you sound like you're annoyed with them.
Well, I'm not annoyed with them. It's just that they all say they say similar things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I want someone new.
Spice of life.
Yeah, to spice it up a bit. So he moved on. I've been doing this thing in preparation for something like this where every day I'll buy a Nook Miles ticket instead of, because the process is so tedious. You have to you can't just be like, give me 10 Nook Miles tickets. It's like one at a time. And it's
Yeah.
like I don't know why it's like that. So I just buy one a day, along with the rest of my stuff. And I had 70 and I bought 20 more. So 90 Nook Miles tickets. And I used, I want to say 87 of them to find a new villager.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it took me like 3 hours or something, or 4 hours.
You run a tight ship over there.
Now I am running a tight ship. I guess it was worth it. We'll see. Anka is my new cat villager. She's apparently very popular.
No way. The blue and yellow one?
Yeah, she's like the Sphinx.
I love this. I love this so much that is the one that you picked.
Why? Well, it took me 87
I'm
tries.
gonna see
so.
if the chat says anything. Yeah.
That's the racist one, right?
No, not right. Yeah, this is. Oh God, you could not have picked a better one. So Anka is literally the one Animal Crossing villager that has become like a major thing on porn websites. Had a whole giant
Well, I can
song
see you've
tied
done your
to it.
research.
There's a
too.
whole song
I wish
and
I
a
did
music
more
video,
research.
like with her, somebody painstakingly drew her doing horrendous things, and it became a whole thing. Like it was a TikTok
Oh,
trend. It was
man.
all over the place.
She's gonna be running her only paws off of your island.
This is so great. Radical, you said she's popular. You said you think she's popular, and Radical Defect says yes, she is. LOL.
Oh no.
And Tendivision said she's very popular. God, that's so good. That's perfect. Well, she's not right for you, then I don't know who's going to be right for you.
Well, what I like about her is she's a personality type that I don't have yet. She's the Why
Kitty,
Yowzy.
meow.
What?
isn't personality like the least pornographic thing?
It's all about personality nowadays.
Is it? I don't know. Regardless, she's a snooty. What's the snooty? Is that a
Meowie, wowie.
Is that a? All right.
I don't
also
remember.
played.
Mom Brain is the one that you got to ask for personality types. I don't remember them.
because you have to like really look them up. You know, they're not like in the game. So
I like that. Like we get to like a real fun point in the conversation. You're like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It's not fun though. You're just like harping me
that
for
her?
like getting some OnlyFans character. I don't want a
We're
porn
not
character.
harping.
Is that
This
her?
is a like you're this is a huge thing. You could not have picked a funnier character, and like it's this is great. This is a great conversation to have, and you're like, I'm not picking on you. I think it's great that you are so pure and you had no
I
idea that
just
this was
wish
happening.
the Nookipedia would have a little information about that because there's nothing in there about
I don't think
her
the
porn
Wikipedia
career.
would put that on there. Well, again, it's not an official porn career. It's a fan.
Well,
made
that's
career, but-
that's what drives me nuts. Like if it was her OnlyFans and Nintendo was like, that's her choice, then that's fine. I'm cool with that. But like, it's gross now. So I don't know.
I
think it's
just want
gross.
to point out,
Listen,
this
have
is
a talk
the
with
same
her. See-
podcast where you did the same thing to me with Haruko, and you were like, "You did it to me."
And okay, let's take a close look at both those characters.
One's been in porn, one hasn't.
I'm sure yours has been in porn.
I'm sure
buddy.
it has. It's Rule 34. It's on the internet. There's, or if it exists, there's porn of it.
Well, I don't want to follow the rules anymore. That's the rule.
I'm fed up with the rules. What rules?
So
I don't know what page that's on.
so yeah. So the
But Ankh
know.
is Egyptian and she wears all that stuff, so I'll give her the mummy.
nice that works. Well, all the
I'll also give her
the Andrew Tates of the world have won this victory, and I now
whoa! No! Andrew Tate wants nothing to do with this. You kidding me?
Well,
It's as far away from Andrew Tate as you can get. This
well,
is Ankh is a woman of the people, a cat woman of the people.
well, we'll see. I mean, she's been on the island 3 days. I can't even give her a gift yet. Now I don't even know if I want to give her a gift. She might think it's for something else. So
Well, in game, Anka is pure. It's what the world has done to her, and there's nothing wrong with being a sex worker. It's fine. But if we're talking about purely canon lore, she's fine.
she seems fine. So we'll
I'm
see.
fine.
We'll see what happens moving forward. I might just stop playing the game. Speaking of stopping playing a game, I physically took Dead Island 2 out of my PS5. I had to. It's the only way I was going to stop playing it.
It was crippling you.
It literally was crippling my wrists, and I just look. You say it's fine to play games that are fun if you're having fun, and I love that about you. But I don't need to be playing this game anymore. I've seen it all. I've done it all, and I
It's your-
just
it's your free
cannot
time. You do what
stop
you want.
playing it. I just love to do it, and
I love to do it. I must stop.
I must. So I took it out. I popped Final Fantasy VII Rebirth back in to the
Finally,
console,
something I don't like.
and didn't even boot it up because I just needed something to be like in the system to not because it's kind of a pain in the butt to like eject games these days and put in a new game. So.
That's the self-imposed barrier that'll keep you away from playing it. Just having to put the disc in.
It
You're like,
will.
not doing that.
And Dead Island 2, I bought the box set of it, so you have to like open the box and take out the tin.
doing
and then
that.
so
No
yeah,
way.
never doing that until the next DLC, and there's no more DLC. So hopefully my wrists are saved, and none of my friends
This
ever
is-
are gonna play it with me.
I,
So it's I don't
I love
have
you.
any.
I love you, and you're one of my best friends, and it just pains me so to know that you're like, I've enjoyed this too much, and I'm having too much fun. Let me get it out so I can put in a game that I don't want to play.
It's causing him physical pain, though.
Well, he's talking more about the mental, but yes, it is. He's trying to break himself out of the loop of having too much fun with the game he doesn't think he should have fun.
Well,
with.
it's just because I wasn't doing anything. Like I'm doing the same thing. It's to the point where it's almost like a Sea House G's for me. Like I could put a podcast on and just bash zombies as a zombie, but I'm in my own world, and I need that. That's why I have the hobby. But there's other games I can be playing that don't kill these puppies because these guys need to last another 40 years, and it's already hurting. So when I say these puppies, I'm talking about my wrists. So yeah, I took that out of there. I don't have to keep playing it over and over, but it was fun. And then Fortnite, of course, been playing Fortnite. I played a little bit of the Star Wars update that just came out. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. I like the Wookiee bowcaster. I like a lot of the Star Wars stuff that they have in there.
That was in there before, right?
They do
Some
Star
of the
Wars
stuff
stuff all the
was.
time, but there's new stuff in there now.
Yeah, a lot of
But
the stuff is.
You're saying like Chewbacca's like crossbow thing?
That's new.
Yeah, that's
The
new.
bowcaster's new.
Oh,
but
I
they
thought there
had
was something like that before.
They had the laser guns that the stormtroopers use, and those are back. And you can get Darth Vader's lightsaber. I haven't gotten that yet. People are really, really good when a new update of Fortnite comes out. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was hemming and hawing about getting the Yoda back bling. It's kind of pricey. It's 1,000 V-bucks.
I've
It
1-to-1?
It is good.
I've
Yeah.
got them.
$1,000?
$1,000. It's a good price though.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not going to do it, and then RMC will do it, and then I'll be like, I have to do it.
I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't like the way it fits with Gojo. So
right.
I love it. I really think that little giggle really gets me.
I like when they
But
do
I
that.
don't. It doesn't fit with Gojo, and I love Star Wars, but I'm not like I can't think of a Star Wars skin I would get. So I got a little bit of a barrier. But if there's anything to tempt me, it's this because it's just so.
But for real,
endearing.
how much is one V-buck?
100 V-bucks is $1.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's really funny. It's cool. It comes with the pickaxe. The pickaxe that it comes with is Yoda's cane, and what's cool about that is on your back, he'll be in the little backpack holding the cane. But if you pull out your pickaxe, which is the cane, it'll disappear from Yoda's hands, and you'll be like swinging it. And then when you go back, it's really cool.
Epic and Nintendo are really good at those little things that they do, just little tiny touches where you're like, that makes a big difference. Like that shows a little, like an extra layer of care that I really appreciate.
Well, when they do that, it's excellent. But then there's some that they kind of just fart out, and I don't know what constitutes that. Like, for instance, I purchased the Resident Evil 2 skins, Claire and Leon. They're really lackluster. There's nothing much to them. The back blings aren't really thought out too well. There's no reactiveness to any of this stuff. And so there's examples like that where it's like, it's cool that those characters are there, but they didn't go above and beyond. But for this, it's nice to see.
And that's a question of like, is it Epic or like, is it the partner they're
Is it
working
Capcom?
with?
Is
Like,
it-
is
yeah,
Capcom deciding the back bling and all that stuff? I honestly don't know. So it
Right.
could be the partnership. It could be all Epic. It could be the other company. Don't know.
And
but
Resident Evil is popular, but it's not as popular as Star Wars. So
Yeah.
you think like they probably
Plus,
are like, let's do something
Disney
big
and
for
Epic
Star
have,
Wars.
they're thick as thieves now, and they spent like $2 billion on that project coming up. So
That's a good point too.
if there's a partner that's really going to go all out with Epic and Fortnite, it's going to be Disney. So that could be it.
What's been great, even in these 2 days being playing on the new update, is everybody has switched their skins to like Star Wars skins. So like it feels like 90% of everybody is a Star Wars character. Even I switched to the Mandalorian because I wanted to kind of get in on it. And it was kind of fun. It almost felt like playing a Star Wars game because there was so much Star Wars content. It was really cool.
My cousin regularly plays as a Mandalorian, and he's been so upset because he missed out on getting like one of the pieces of the Beskar armor. And he was like, "Are they going to bring it back?" I was like, "They're not. They're not. You missed
such
your
a
chance. I'm
shame.
so sorry." So he's got like a half complete set, and it like eats him alive all the time.
That would drive me crazy too.
Yeah. I said the only way to get it is to buy somebody else's account who already has it. Like I don't see them bringing it back because part of Fortnite is be there and get it, because if you miss it, it's not coming back. Like especially for that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just forget it. Like we all have our Fortnite things that we regret not getting. Like Orange Justice for me is one that I'll always want, and it's never been back. It's never coming back.
Ugh.
That dance that Lube has, I would love to get. I don't see that coming back because I think that was an unlock for something. That's why I want to get the damn crew pass, because I want to get that bow and arrow song that you got, which is great.
Is that from the crew
Yes,
pass?
I looked it up. That's how.
That's how I
I
got
need
it
to get
then.
it, and I was like, it's page 11 on this one. I was like, that's the only way I get it, and I got to get it before the season's over. So
Nice.
I'm letting my V-Bucks build up naturally. I need like 200 more, but now my free battle pass is empty. I'm like, what am I going to? I guess I got to spend $2 to get it now. So I don't know, but
Well, that's cool that you're gonna have it too.
that emote is great. That emote is great. So, anyway, yes, Fortnite, Star Wars. Excited to try the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that's about it. They got rid of all of the Bing Bings except for Water Bing Bing.
The best one, well, Air Bing Bing was great.
I was partial to Air myself.
The best traversal Bing Bing, Air. The
Yeah.
best offensive Bing Bing, Water.
Of
So
course.
Water's still there.
Yeah,
so.
of course, Water's still there. It's tough for me because as much as I like Water, I get killed with it way more often than I kill with it. But it's great that it's there, and they brought back the Icarus wings, so you can fly around now again.
Yep, and
they
the
brought back the
chain of
chain
haze is
and
back.
the lightning, so all that stuff's back, which
It's
is
nice
cool.
that they unvaulted that already. Like I thought that was going to be vaulted and then done. And
Yeah,
when-
I'm glad
when
to
Star Wars
have
stuff,
something.
They're just going to be like, no. So I'm glad that's back.
And I missed the chain, man. That thing's great.
Chain's fun. Yeah, I'm happy to see the chain. But people are love-hate chain. They're like happy to have it back or not happy because they're getting yanked out of the air. with it,
Right.
So
Yeah, I've
I
seen
get
some
it.
good yanks with
The
that
duality
out of a
of
car.
Fortnite.
So yeah, that's about it. Looking forward to more Fortnite. I need to find something new to play because I don't think I'm going to be going back to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. I've been thinking about it, and like each time I think about it, I don't want to because I'm not excited to. And like when I turn on video games, it's usually because like I'm excited to play something. So like I don't know. So I'm thinking. I've been thinking about what to do. I do
Try
have
some of the new demos for stuff that's out. See if anything clicks for you.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do because I have like a hard copy of the Resident Evil 4 remake that I bought like months ago, and I was like, I could do that, and then it was like, I don't want. That's not the experience I'm looking for. I'm looking for something kind of fresh and something unique and something not necessarily light, but something different. Like I don't necessarily want a remake or something so
flavor.
serious. I need to get that love back for the game because I've been getting like a lot less patient, a little more angry. You know, I go, you know, my mood goes through waves, and I'm in like a real lull right now, and I think I need like a fun game to pull me out. So we'll see. Actually, I just got an email from I Am 8-Bit saying that my Sea of Stars physical copy is going to be shipping soon. So that might be the one because it's new. You know, it's something new to me. It's like a classic. A fresh take on a classic style,
That
and
battle system is killer. Man, is that battle system fun.
Yeah,
and
so
it's
we'll
not
see.
complicated. It's very engaging. It's a great game. Great game.
Yeah, so that I'm looking forward to playing. That might be it, but there's no shipping date yet. So in the meantime, I'll just be, who knows what I'll be doing, president or Mancala. But anyways, thanks for listening. RMC, what have you been playing?
Thank you for asking. I'll tell you. I didn't play much in terms of quantity, but I played much in terms of quality.
Ooh.
I have still not gone back to Final Fantasy VII Remake because
Well, you said quality, so I didn't assume.
I'm not there yet. I need a break. I played the demo of Stellar Blade, as I said, and I thought it was stellar. So I was like, this game has earned my money. I will buy this game. And I bought that game, and I am in love with it. It's funny. You were mentioning Resident Evil. I cannot explain why, because the games are completely different type of games. But Resident Evil 4, my favorite Resident Evil, and Stellar Blade scratched the same itch in my brain, and I don't know why.
Ooh,
I
that's
have no
exciting.
clue. That's what I wrote about on Patreon. I was like, Resident Evil 4, I was like, at least I know Resident Evil 4 scratches an itch for me, and I can at least put a little bit behind it. Headshots feel really good in that game, and I love the melee kicks when you like that. Just those two elements, those two tiny things were just so enjoyable for me. Stellar Blade gives me that same feeling, but I don't know why. The combat's really fun and really good. It's not like a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta where it's like really frenetic and like you really have to be on your toes. There's wiggle room. Like you can be a little lax, and there's stealth kills too, depending on what you level up. So I like that flexibility. The environments are fun to explore. There's little things to pick up here and there. There's hidden stuff to get, which I love in games. But I'm far enough into the game now that I made it to like this big like space for people and then you go out into what's called the Wastelands, and it's like a big open area to explore, which I didn't even know the game had, and that's very enjoyable. It's so much fun to play. It's just like it's scratching. It's not as good as Tears of the Kingdom in any way, but it's still a very good game, and it scratches part of that itch for me. Just where I'm like, I want to go out and explore. Like I got all these missions, but I'm like, I'm gonna go this way and see what I find over here. I'm gonna go over here and check out this thing. And let me go see what this person's doing over here. It just feels good. Like it's a really, really fun game to play. Soundtrack, beautiful. So many good songs in that game, and it's not like the game does an excellent job with music by giving you like, so I'm in the wasteland and there's like one song that plays throughout the whole wasteland, but it transitions into different things depending on where in the wasteland you are. So like if you're on the top of a mountain, it's like really like heroic, and then when you go down into a valley, it strips out a lot of the instruments and they add in like a little like Zamfir pan flute in the background, and like it's a very quiet version of the same song. And you go to this other area and they add in somebody new singing to the song along with what it's really, really well done. It's a cool idea to have one main song that shifts and ebbs and flows depending on where you are in this one area. So that's great. It's just so good. I like you know how it's like you and I for a little bit there, a very little bit. We're like, Helldivers, this is great to have something on PS5 that we can play. Like, this is great. Stellar Blade is the first real game for me where it's like that. I'm like, okay, this is a PS5 game. This is really enjoyable.
To PS5, I guess.
Yeah, it's man, like I said, there's a demo. You should try the demo. Because I know you're not into what you think that kind of combat is, and it's not. You'll be fine. It's not like that. I'd argue Final Fantasy VII's combat is more like what you're thinking than this is.
Mhm.
And I thought it was really unique that the game opens up in like a very funneled, linear like level that you go through, and then it opens up a little bit, but it's all interconnected. And then once you do that whole portion, the game's like, okay, here, go to this place. Now you're in an open world thing, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Man, I don't have any. The only complaints I have are like the overtly sexual main character for no reason. I still don't have any reason for it. And like,
I just watched a trailer. This is like the first time that I've seen jiggle in a game.
There's been plenty of games with boob jiggle, without a doubt, and
Really?
butt jiggle.
Oh,
Oh yeah, tons. Like Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
No,
that exists.
Oh, I'm saying this is the first time that I've seen it in a long time. Like Team Ninja stuff was notorious for that, right?
It's in there,
But like this was like fan service, like cranked up.
I sense we're talking about it. I will say, the jiggle is there, but it's not like Dead or Alive jiggle where the boobs are like, like crazy.
No, but
it is
a character just walked 3 steps
yes.
and they were bouncing the whole time. It's
Yeah.
like, dear, I know they're in space, but come on.
Yes, I mean, like the
Zero
sexualized nature of the
gravity.
characters is strange for me, because there's no, literally so far for what I've seen and experienced, there's no reason for it other than like it's a hot girl and she's not wearing a lot.
And she has a necktie.
Don't get me started on that. It makes me so mad. It's
to distract
not my
you from
cup of tea.
all the other parts.
A little, it's like a half necktie, whatever. So every outfit that I've been able to unlock, I haven't unlocked because I'm like, can I have something with like, I want like an outfit that is cool, but also where it's not like, and half of it's missing. Like, can I just have something like?
Well, it looks like there's
normal? There are, but you have to find them. So I found an outfit that I think is really cool, but it's still open. But I was like, all right. Like, I like the outfit overall, so I'm going with that. It's like a black and red checkered, like short vest and like a bodysuit. It's much better than, I can't stand that little tie. I swear to God, I look at that tie and I'm like, that tie's so dumb. So in cutscenes now, she's wearing
at
this,
least
and
it's
I'm
not
like,
a bow tie,
this is
am I
better.
right? Huh?
Or a bolo.
Don't get me started.
So yes, I have an outfit that I like. There's a couple other outfits. That's the one that I'm wearing. Because I really like that jacket.
Like a flannel.
I like the jacket. I mean, my hoodie is like that basically, except it's a full hoodie, just not cut, just barely under the boob.
We could make your hoodie look like
we
this.
could. I don't got the boobs for it anymore.
We couldn't make this look like your hoodie.
That's right. But I know there are other outfits you can unlock that are like, pants and shirts and stuff, and they're still cool. There's some I've seen in trailers that are cool.
Please, a vest and a jacket to go with that tie.
Yes, exactly. Something that makes sense for the time. But yeah, outside of my complaints, and again, I'm not a prude. I like naked women. I love naked women. But like when it's in the game like this, I'm past the point of being like a pubescent boy that's like, oh, boobs, this is awesome. Like if it's going to be there, I need that to be part of the character and have it explained. As I've said, there are games that do that where it makes sense. And it's not like she's half naked because her body temperature is too hot and she needs to survive. Like that's not the explanation. Like that's not going to work for me.
I mean, you're 41 years old. There's a lot of people who are younger than you who are just going to like, they have to play.
I'm not saying they're wrong
right?
for doing it. I'm saying go for it. It's a great idea.
Give an
and I'm
option
also
to-
saying if that's what you like, that's fine by me. I don't care. It doesn't detract from my like of the game. I'm just like, I wish there was a reason for this. Like it's just boobs is the reason. And it doesn't upset me. It's just I don't get anything from it. Now if it was peanuts.
Absolutely.
But the game's great, really. I think you should give the demo a shot and see what you think. So I played that, and I've only played one other thing. This is a game. I'm playing an advanced copy of. Let me look it up because I always get the name wrong.
Forgotten Realm, I believe.
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I keep because
yeah.
people in the game say her laser eyes, and it's screwing me up. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. It's a game I've been looking forward to for years now. Made by Samogo, the Sayonara Wild Hearts people. It is it's the one I got that book for last week. It's puzzle oriented, mysterious. There's a big mystery going on. It's so stylistic. It's so well made. I don't know what this is a puzzle game you play with friends because the puzzles that you get, you're like,
Which
oh,
tracks that you're
crap.
playing it by yourself?
Well, I just got it yesterday. You're gonna high-five for that one. I even talked to you about it, and I said I wanted to play it with you. I'm listening. Go ahead. Say it into the mic. Speak it full-throated.
I love you, and I didn't know what I was high-fiving in the moment. Nicky Hill put up a hand. I high-fived him.
Yeah, because
I'll tell you,
famously on the podcast,
he said
you two are best friends.
he said he's playing a game, and he's playing this game, and he said this is a game you play with friends, and I said, well, that tracks that he's playing it by himself.
No,
I just got it.
I know.
Giving me
but-
another. Yeah, she's coming in for another one.
You did that to us. You did that to us.
I played the majority of it with you guys.
And you beat the game.
Well, anyway,
alone.
if you have friends, I clearly don't. I'm saying if you guys have friends, it'd be a great one to play around a group of people because the more minds to help out with puzzles, the better. There are so many things in the game where I'm like, I've been very proud of myself with solving the puzzles now because I've solved puzzles that are different from any other game I've played. And you really do have to think outside the box. But I've solved things that I'm very proud of. And I haven't hit a stumbling block where I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I don't know what to do. If anything, I have too many things to do and too many puzzles that I'm like, I have pieces of, and I'm like, I can figure this out. But so there's nothing where I'm like, I've hit a roadblock. I can't go anywhere. I got plenty of things I can ponder and try. But it would be really fun to bring together other people and be like, what's your take on this? What do you think the answer is here? What do you think would solve this? Man, the vibe and the atmosphere is so cool. I'm going to be really lame and compare it to Twin Peaks. It's not at all like Twin Peaks. It's not like this telling that kind of story, but just something about like the vibe. I don't know what it is. It's like mysterious, but in that like really intriguing, alluring way. It's about a girl who's going out to a hotel and you're there to meet this like guy who creates movies, but he's lost his mind. And like you're his muse in some way. And there's all kinds of weird things going on at this hotel. And you're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on because you know this puzzle involves you somehow and this guy, but you don't know what's going on.
Do you play as Lorelei?
I think you do. I'm not sure yet. I think you are Lorelei. I might be wrong though. But yeah,
my guess, just from that description, is that's the character you're supposed to be playing.
because I've met
That
characters,
the character that you're controlling is supposed to be playing because you're meeting it.
but I've met characters that I think are myself but older. So I'm not. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on story wise. I have too many elements to know for sure what's going on.
They're cast to be you as older.
But I am very intrigued, and your character
My character.
has a photographic memory, which is a great excuse for mechanics and
I remember
gameplay
even
because
being cast in this.
anything you've seen that's a puzzle, anything that you've learned, you can go into a menu and see it right away. You don't need to go back to the area to look at it again, which is such a smart idea. So good. So like you're like, what that sign on the 3rd floor elevator say? You go into your photographic memory and you see it exactly. Every book you've read, you
don't have
every
to
page.
choose to take pictures of things.
You don't. As soon as you interact with it, you got it. So like there's like books that teach you like these are what these numbers mean and this is how this works, and you just go into the photographic memory menu and it's all right there. So that's such a smart idea. All of them, anybody can play this game. You can control it with the D-pad, you can control it with either joystick, and every button does exactly the same thing. If you're not interacting with something, every button opens up the same menu. If you're interacting with something, every button interacts with it. So you don't need to learn buttons or anything. You push any button, it does what you want it to. Such a good idea. So the game is, so then you're just left with solving the puzzles, and it's so good. And it's all in black and white with splashes of red because that's an important color in the game.
Because of our laser eye.
Because of her laser eye.
Those because of
You give me
Schindler's
cash
List.
money, I
Laser you eyeball.
But man, I'm not allowed to do a full review until a certain date. But
It's not out
my
yet.
God, not out yet.
How'd you get it?
I said I got an advanced copy. That's how I started this whole story.
Hard copy or digital?
I thought you said
Digital.
you were waiting years for it.
I have been waiting years for it. They announced it like 3 years ago.
Wow.
And who's
Simogo is the developer. They made Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's a black and white game. It's a puzzle game. Annapurna is the publisher. I didn't say that. Annapurna Great Track Records. So, yeah, I think you're going to be, no pun intended. No, that doesn't make sense. You're going to be over the moon about this game. Like, I really think you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, but it sounds like the puzzles are hard, and I'm all for
but
I know
solitaire.
You're still going to like it.
Here
And you know what
lies
I will say?
Nicky Hill. Yeah, but
There's something else I will say. It's superfluous, but it does it. The main character in the game has one of the best and smoothest walking animations I've ever seen in the game.
oh,
It feels amazing to control her when she's
Yeah, but
walking.
is it
and
30
looks so smooth.
frames per second?
No. It's 60.
All right. See that?
We did it, people. We did it. We did it, people. Oh, and you know what? It's a little creepy, too. The atmosphere is a little creepy because there's people in this mansion, and you're like, what's
I
going
thought it was
on
a
here?
hotel.
Mansion or hotel? My
goodness.
goodness.
Hotel.
Everything
hotel.
is in there. Woo!
Hotel. I misspoke.
Everybody
Hotel.
grab your friends. Grab this game when it comes out.
Yeah, when's it come out?
I don't
8th or
know.
15th or something?
You tell me, Game Master.
I'll look it up. I'll do it. I'll bring the show to a halt and
well,
look
you
it up.
started to. I don't want to steal your thunder here.
It comes out May 16th on Windows and Switch. So it is a Switch
Oh.
console exclusive.
I don't know about
Oh.
that.
You do
You don't know about what?
for
You know, I told you a fact.
I'm-
There's not anything to not know.
I got,
for
I got a
Windows-
lot of
There's
solitaire
one
to
more
play.
thing. What the
Oh.
Windows version? Do you need a Switch Online account to download it? to
You
play
do
it?
not know.
Oh, interesting.
You need a Microsoft account.
I'm guessing it's on
strangely enough.
Steam.
Or no, PlayStation. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, PlayStation would like it if you started it.
Lorelei. Let's see. It's got to be on Steam. What else would it be on? It's on Steam. Lorelei and her laser eyes. The stage
Her?
is set. The laser eyes.
Oh.
The stage is set. Imagine an old Baroque manor, perhaps a hotel or a museum. This is the official description.
Oh wow.
Somewhere in Central Europe, a woman wanders in search of answers. That's the whole
We don't
description.
know if it's Lorelei or not. That's true. A woman.
And I feel like I'm like, what was that movie with Russell Crowe?
Gladiator.
No, I think it was Russell Crowe. Maybe I'm wrong.
LA
Beautiful Mind.
Confidential?
Beautiful Mind. I feel like I'm in a Beautiful Mind because I'm like writing down like puzzle solutions and taking pictures of things and like turning them upside down and looking at them in a mirror and like scribbling all over my phone. And I'm like, I'm a madman, but I'm solving things. So I'm like, this feels great. This actually makes sense. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Since we are now at the longest podcast ever, we are going to skip questions because we're at the longest show
Oh,
ever.
let's just get one.
No. I've made the decision. Boom. Send your hate mail to me, rawmeatcowboy@gmail.com. I don't know why that sounded like that.
And in your hate mail,
cowboy@gmail.com.
include a question.
Sure, why not? I'll answer them directly. Go right ahead. And yeah, I don't want to make this a 4-hour show. I promise next week we will do questions. I promise.
Radical Defect was like celebrating that it was going to reach 4 hours. It just broke hearts there.
No. Well, we can't.
How did this get so long?
It's
How about
me
this?
ranting
How about
stupid
this?
crap.
How about split it in half? Post one half now,
Nope.
one half next
I
week.
made my
We get a
decision.
free
I
weekend.
made my decision. You're still getting the longest episode ever, people. So
All right, everybody. First
People?
song this week comes to us from Radical Defect
have a lot
Master
of-
Higgins.
Free weekend.
And here we go.
Star Tropics 2.
You got it.
I
On the
haven't played-
NES.
I haven't played 2. I know it sounded different.
Zoda's Revenge.
Zoda, that's the woman from the morning show
My favorite drink. Yeah, Zoda coffee. You're right. Zoda
with what's her name?
Kathy Lee.
All right, that was from
really?
Radical Defect Master Higgins. This one is from Storbus Corbin.
It's cool.
The Matrix.
No. It's Rock Lobster.
I got nothing. All right, they put a lot of money into it. Let's guess Xenoblade.
Yeah, Xenoblade X on the Wii U.
Amazing. I love it.
And that was from Storbus Corbin.
You got all those instruments. It's got the guitar. The pieces are there.
Here's a little ditty from Megan.
I love it.
Oh, this is a video game about an orphan.
Something about animals dying.
I don't think so.
Something about people dying.
I don't know.
To the moon.
I never stood up very tall.
All right, the character's short. Mario before he eats the mushroom.
My voice
Oh,
was
Minish Cap.
fairly small,
Whoa! Small Wonder?
How'd you guess?
but there were times
See, this seems
I
like something you would know right away
wanna
if you
shout,
heard it.
though my thoughts weren't sorted out.
Oh, okay. There was a game that was a
So I'd
musical.
stumble
Is it on
as I
Switch?
fall.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't. No, I swear to God.
To fly
There's a
because
game that's a musical, just came out not that long ago.
Princess Peach stage show.
Rhapsody?
you left, I could go
Is this something like Rhapsody?
The shady part of me.
So,
and
What was it?
everything
Am I allowed to
you
look that
saw
up?
in me,
Can I look up?
that's what I wanted
I'm a
to
rule
be.
person.
Did I make it after all? All the grass on the other
Stray Gods?
side.
Okay, then I don't know.
Is it only greener in my mind?
Just Dance.
Not a bad guess.
Slow Dance.
We're giving up?
Because trading my
I give up.
It's not, like What Night in the Woods or anything, right?
Hey, is to wish my life away.
This is sad.
Do you give up?
Yeah.
We all gave up.
Finding Paradise
I don't even know what that
in
is.
parentheses to the moon too.
I said to
He
the moon.
did say to the moon.
Well, you got it. Great job.
Well,
I didn't say to the moon
You didn't
too.
say to the moon too.
I'm gonna give myself.
Look, I got Finding Paradise like
Yeah, it's hard
I'm
to.
throwing in a 0.5.
I mean, I don't know how you even came up with that, but
Emotional. I know the game.
It was from Egmont. This one comes from Alien Boy V8.
We're on the DS. No, we could be on the GameCube.
Nope.
This is
What,
that
3DS?
This is that TikTok, the
The Switch.
slick back thing, right? This is the TikTok trend where people are slide across the floor.
Why'd you say eShop?
Make sure.
Everything that's on the Switch is on the eShop. If their game doesn't exist, it's not on eShop. Oh, okay. Is it Japanese?
No.
Is it a puzzle game?
I think so.
Okay. Picross.
No.
Oh, I love that
It's not Tetris.
that instrument,
effect, right?
the MIDI pan flute. I love that. Tetris. MIDI. Luminous.
I feel like it could be like one of those running games or something too. It's got like that energy.
This is probably wrong. It has a Sega vibe, but from like 20 years ago.
I don't know. I don't think it's Sega, but
Ow!
Oh, Sega from 20 years ago, the game? Is that what he's trying to say?
That was a good one.
Spot on, yes.
I don't know.
we give up.
Yes.
I gave up when I walked through that door.
Crossnick. CROSSNIQ.
Never played
Plus.
it. And you know what? I heard part of the soundtrack and I was like, I should play this game. Yes. It's made to be like a 2000 era puzzle game. Son of a bitch.
And it was from Alien
I
Boy
would have
BA.
never remembered that name though.
This one's from Geku Kitsune.
This brings me back to my childhood when my dad used to hear me play this game and say, "Turn that goddamn music off. That song's too short." Never forget it.
Is he right? Is the song too short?
It's a short, yes, but I think it's too good and it's too short. This property is in public domain now. There was a cartoon when there was a movie when we were kids.
Adventures in Babysitter.
Nemo.
The Dream Master. I was going to say it's your favorite thing to do, but
You got it. Little Nemo.
nice job.
From
Nice
Geku
job.
Kitsune. This one's from Guy Bones.
Finding Nemo?
Finding Little Nemo the Dream Master. This has a Nintendo feel to it. Has an Animal Crossing feel to it.
It does.
Okay. Do you take the rest?
New Leaf.
I mean, I'll give it to you guys. It's because I don't know
Wild World.
what
New
one was
Leaf.
on the GameCube.
Animal Crossing.
Just Animal Crossing plain.
Yep.
Oh.
There you go.
It's a nice little tune.
Animal Crossing. Little known fact at this
From
table,
Guy Bones.
they weren't sure if America would like Animal Crossing.
Well,
So they hired an artist
They
to
put it-
take Anka. Sorry.
That's it. They put it out on the N64 in Japan. And it took them all the way to later in the GameCube to bring it here before they were like,
Wow.
you know what, we're going to give it a shot.
So is the Japanese version, the original Japanese version on the N64, the same version that the Americans got on the GameCube?
More or less, yeah. The GameCube one looks slightly better, but content-wise, they're more or less the same.
I know I've put more time into this game than anything I've played on Switch, but I still don't understand how it's popular. I absolutely love it, but I mean, I'm glad it exists. I
don't
just
know
never
how-
would have.
That's so crazy.
In
to
a
me.
boardroom, I can't see them being like, "Here, animals, come to your
Yeah, but-
island," and it's like, "What? Get out of here!"
You say
wasn't even
you
islands
love it,
back then,
and you
right? It was
can't
just
understand why
towns.
people like it. It's because it's the same reason you like it. It's relaxing. It's cozy.
It's more. I
it's
guess it's more just how it even came to be. Like, who heard the idea and was like,
Nintendo.
"We gotta
Hey,
make this."
wait a
Nintendo
second.
did.
Is Mr.
Well, I
Rossetti
guess.
still in the most recent version?
Brother is right.
I
Can you
haven't.
mess with the
I
clock?
They
haven't.
do like the.
I haven't met
some
him.
kind of airplanes or something.
I don't think. Is he the mole? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten like a figurine of him, but I don't. I've
Whoever
never
the
met
mole
him.
is in the game is Mr. Rossetti's brother.
Oh, interesting.
But will he
Haven't met
still?
him yet.
Will he still? No, they
Mr.
don't.
Rossetti doesn't harass you anymore like that.
Oh.
What kind of harassment?
What
If
back
you
in
would
the
change,
day,
if you would
Clock.
change the clock
If
to
you-
get different, to like complete different tasks.
the system knows obviously you're changing the time. So when you go back in the next time, Mr. Rossetti will pop out of the ground and be like, "I know what you're doing, asshole. You're not
And-
getting away with
And
it."
he'd like threaten to delete your game.
Yeah.
Really? Did
he
he ever
wouldn't
delete
delete
it?
it now.
Oh man, that's amazing.
All right. This one comes from Akumaju.
This is familiar.
3DS.
Oh, 3DS.
Yeah.
This throws. Okay. That throws me off a lot. Is it Atlas? It's got singing. It's got that Japanese feel. If you can tell me it's Atlas, I could hone in. I don't. It's Atlas. This has Sega or Atlas. Or they're just one and the same.
There's an old comment, but Red Souza says, this is about the one where your dad was yelling at you. RMC's like, shut up, Dad. One day I'll need to know the music of Lil Nemo for a quiz of my own design.
It is Atlas.
It's true. All right, then it's a Persona or an SMT.
It is Persona.
Then it's on a 3DS. Then it's Q.
It is.
We got there.
And that was from Akumaju.
He says.
The royal way.
I'm happy to be included, but yeah, I don't have any illusions as
I mean,
to helping at all.
Here, I'll tell you.
To be
ready?
honest,
This
I
is
knew
how
it before he went down the whole rabbit. I just didn't.
This
I
is
wanted
how
to
I
give
get
to
it.
him.
From now on, if you hear guitar, upbeat, and singing, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Sega or Atlas.
This next.
So I won't say anything next time. When
I really
songs
hope the
roll.
let me
next
see if I
song
remember
has
that.
guitar, upbeat singing, and it's not either.
But if it's really
Right.
grungy guitar, that's also Sega. But that means it's Sonic Sega. Like you get like a lower, like that's going to be Sonic.
This
Hmm.
comes from
Sonic.
Nico Darunia.
See, like this right away gives me 2005s, late 90s, early 2005s. It's drum and bass.
This is like Killer 7 or something. It's
not.
like
That's not a bad guess. That's not a bad guess at all. Is this N64?
Yes.
Because
Win
that
back.
era.
No.
So then it's like, see, I don't know.
this. What do I know?
Is it a puzzle game?
We said N64.
Okay. Is it?
It's
Yeah.
N64.
Is it Bomberman?
No.
Is it First Party?
No.
Good music. N64.
Micro Machines.
No.
Is it racing?
No.
It's not puzzle and it's not racing. It's not licensed, right?
I don't think so.
Man, this era. It's not like snowboarding or like.
Yeah.
1080.
So
Yep.
that's racing.
How am I supposed to know snowboarding is a racing game?
Well, you're racing other snowboarders.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't have known that either.
apologize.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known
apologize.
that either.
I was.
And I would
yeah,
have. I'm the idiot that would have been like, "Oh, that's a Nintendo game like that they came out with on the N64."
That
And-
is. That's first party.
I was wrong.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Nintendo
Sorry, guys.
made.
I
Yes,
didn't
Nintendo.
think
The
that-
same team that made Wave Race made 1080.
My apologies.
It's okay.
This next song comes from Jess I.
Game Boy or Game Boy Color?
NES.
Really? This is that company. It's the it's funny you just said
LJN?
Micro Machines. It's the company that made.
It is Micro Machines.
Oh,
No
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
wow!
This guy is unreal. He's not even trying
I was
to
going
get
to say
it right.
it's the company that made Micro Machines. I can't remember their name. I was going to say the European company.
I love how we're looking for the games music and he's trying to name the company and he inadvertently names the right game.
Well, you guessed Micro Machines.
I was going to say you guessed Micro Machines earlier, and I was going to say, funnily enough, Micro Machines, and then she stopped me. So
Man,
it
that's-
was all because of you.
That is funny.
All right. That was from Jess I. And the last song we have for this week is from Mikey3319. Was I? All right.
Sure. Yeah, we're the last song.
Okay.
Now, see, that's another noise that's specific to a company, but what company? Is it?
Now this, while it sounds like it's from,
Okay.
this has to be new, right? This
No,
isn't old.
This is back then because it's that guy again.
Oh, really?
Codename
I think it's that guy again.
This is amazing. Whatever it is.
This has. All right. So if it's that guy again, then this is probably licensed.
It is.
All right. So it's definitely that guy again, but he made so many so many great soundtracks for bad
Terminator.
licenses.
It's not
Yeah, like I don't know, RoboCop,
Platoon.
No,
Jurassic Park.
no,
Rambo,
no.
Oh, that noise, that bling bling.
Dirty Harry. Man,
We have to get this because it's
Like what's fine? Like
90s NES.
Predator. Like it's an action?
Alien.
Alien
Thank you.
3,
All you.
actually, on the NES.
That guy again.
the things
And the kings of
that
licensed
person
garbage.
did with what he had to work with is really astounding. It's still every time I hear something new, it's amazing.
Yeah, he went above and beyond, and he used the NES in ways people never did.
It's crazy.
And it's so bad that he did it for so many horrible games. But
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't get like picked up by someone who makes great games. Like
LJN
he
had
could
that
still
guy
be doing
in
it today.
in
I
a
don't know what he's doing.
stranglehold, and then he was probably. I don't know. I'd love to interview the guy, but he was probably like, "I've worked with Jurassic Park and Alien and you
Right,
know,
all these big names
Terminator
had no
and-
idea
yeah,
that like they were
RoboCop,
like the worst
yeah.
video games ever.
I guess yeah. There's like some, you know, if you're pumping up your work for other people and they're like, "What'd you work on?" You could be like, "Oh, RoboCop and Jurassic Park." Of course, they're not going to ask anything more than that. They're not going to be like the NES game.
Yeah.
No, so
When is that coming out? The new Jurassic Park game. That was announced.
there's no date for that. I don't think.
I don't know.
And that's the end of the longest show ever, as far as I know.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, actually, well, we can lengthen it out. We can pad it with a little something called Deux Views.
my God.
It's never news. Rumor of the week with New Michael.
I just wish it wasn't a rumor this time.
Well, guess what? This one's not a rumor.
Oh my God.
Usually it's rumor time.
I can't believe it.
This one's
I've missed a
true.
couple weeks. I come back on the week that it's actually true.
It's a red letter day, ladies
Wow.
and gentlemen. So spiders and flies have
Happy
been
Cinco de Quatro.
perusing
Radical Defect says
throughout-
we're a mere 25 minutes away from a 4-hour pod if Dude's rumor could be extra long.
Well,
Well, it would have been, but this is true. So.
yeah, exactly. And so we'll just get going here with this rumor. So we may have talked earlier about Sonic and their collaboration with IHop. Wait, no, Sonic the Hedgehog and his collaboration with IHop. Well, Popeyes was like, the chicken place was like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. We're going to piggyback off that and we're going to partner with a popular video game franchise of our own. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Banjo-Kazooie Popeyes double feature where you can get yourself the Roadrunner Kazoo sandwich, Kazooie sandwich from Popeyes.
The
chicken.
The Roadrunner Kazooie?
Is Kazooie a
Hell yeah.
Roadrunner or is he?
Oh,
Or no, they.
he's a bird.
I was wondering where the bear came in. Was more my question.
Oh, the bear.
You didn't make it. It's fine. I was just wondering.
Usually it's Moose Tracks ice cream for the milkshake. It's Bear Tracks ice cream that they're changing.
Yes.
Alright.
So you're going to tell me the sandwich had bear meat in it.
No, that's gross. Come on. Only
Popeyes is
Roadrunner.
pivoting from chicken to bear.
That's
to
interesting.
Roadrunner.
that they chose to make a chicken treat out of the bird character, because I always thought the bird couldn't use its legs, like they were broken. That's why it was in the backpack.
Yes, no, Kazooie's legs are extra strong because you can flip over and Kazooie carries Banjo.
Oh, he's
on her back.
carrying. He's not in the backpack.
But
He's in the
No, no,
he
no,
can
no,
fly
no, 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 no,
too.
no. Hold on. I'll say this again.
But I've
Kazooie
seen that
is in the backpack. Banjo carries, but there's a move where you can flip upside down and Kazooie runs extra fast and carries Banjo on her back.
Oh, gotcha.
They say it's because of that move that the fans of the show really loved. By show, I mean video game. Really loved moving fast. So they were like, how do we do this? How do we capitalize on moving fast? We'll make Nuts and Bolts the sequel where you can move fast in any vehicle that you make.
You
and
use
that's
exactly right.
that's why they did that.
You use Kazooie's feet to get up steeper inclines. She can get better grip with her talon toes.
Speaking
I
of
was
talons,
like, what bird is Kazooie? Because I don't know, and it makes sense. Kazooie is a red-crested breegull, which is a
Oh.
fictional bird.
Oh no.
well,
good.
I
That's
bet
why
she's
Popeye can't make
delicious.
them.
That's another noise my dad also hated. I know that seems like it's too coincidental, but it's true because Kazooie made a noise when you walked on her feet that was like, and it used to be really
Oh,
fast and
yeah.
it'd drive him nuts. And then I told him, "Shut up, Dad."
Nice. You got his number.
Got him.
Speaking
And
of,
then he told you shut up.
Did you tell him go get stung by a whole bunch of bees on a telephone pole, Dad?
Go read the encyclopedia, you dork.
go sit on a donut.
Go sit on the donut. What else we got? What other old standbys are there?
I was
Okay,
thinking
in
like
point of the realm,
Go-
Dad.
go-
like the hemorrhoid
coin it
donut,
out.
but you meant the real donut. The time he sat on a real donut is probably the best.
All right, everybody.
Go
That's our
go
longest show
tighten your
ever.
shoes.
Delicious.
Will we have an after show? Sure, but that's it here. We're done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh, I got to do this.
Thanks for putting up with us, everyone.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye,
have a
everybody.
safe week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
There was something I was like, I'll talk about it in the after.
You were
show.
getting too mad
Jerry
about something.
Seinfeld.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came out. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, you can't joke, and the same old stuff. You can't. All this PC woke culture. You can't joke anymore.
He
You
was
can't
like,
say
imagine.
anything.
He's like, Kramer had homeless guys pulling rickshaws around New York City. What if I pitched that today? And it's like, you were offered $110 million to do one more season, and you said no. So shut up about that.
Yeah. Look at all these canceled people.
Oh yeah, and the
like,
cancel thing.
Dave Chappelle, who had literally the biggest comedy campaign tour in America this past year. And, it's all people who are canceled. They mean like there's pushback on what they say. They don't mean they can't say things anymore.
Yeah, like what could they possibly be talking about? Because he's got a movie coming out. The reason we see him making these comments is because he's on press tours
the
like
damn
crazy.
Pop-Tart movie
And like,
that he wrote.
and it's like, why are you arguing about this? And then it's like, when they say the cancel culture thing, who are they talking about? Like Roseanne? Like and like, you can't really blame
Roseanne.
the people who fired her. It's not like she was doing stand-up. This was a TV show kind
Yeah.
of thing, and she was saying inappropriate racist stuff. Like, that's
comment is
different.
being made a lot of like, oh, couldn't make this back then. Like,
Yeah, and
all
she's
that
so
stuff.
canceled that she's got a comedy special and a show on Fox's network, like the Fox Nation network. Like, that can't. Sure, she was fired from one thing over here, but she got something else over here because of
Also,
it.
Yeah, it's
also,
crazy.
who was the really famous producer that made
Harvey Weinstein.
that just passed away, that made like all television series.
Oh,
for-
I know
Oh,
who you're talking
yeah,
about. The
yeah.
kid stays in the picture.
Mm,
That guy. I don't know his name.
No, Bob Evans.
No,
Bob Evans.
No,
That's
it was
not who you're
another
talking
one.
I know
Was
who
it-
you mean. God, that's gonna drive me nuts. I know exactly who you mean.
Someone's got to know.
Anyway, he made a lot of series and like older series, and somebody made a comment of like, oh, they couldn't make those things, like Archie Bunker and stuff like that.
Yes,
He's like, oh, they wouldn't be making those these days, and it's like they actually dealt with serious
that
topics.
was pushing back on
though.
stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
they actually were fighting back then.
If you watched like All in the Family and you were laughing at like the racist stuff because you like racist stuff, then you're missing the whole point of the show.
Right.
Like the whole point of the show was pushing back against that stuff. That's why I'm so happy. I don't remember his name. The guy from Always Sunny.
Seinfeld. Oh no.
He commented on Seinfeld
That was
stuff,
a
and
great
it's like
Thing this, yeah.
our
great comment.
show exists. Like yes, you can do that stuff. The whole point is we're doing that because people see that and they're like, these are horrible people. And the message of the show is pushing back against all the stuff these horrible people do. He's like, I don't understand how you think you can't make that stuff unless your point is we want to do that stuff because we think it's funny and that's it.
Right.
Like
And that's the sad thing about
Norman Lear, thank you, Solid Master Link. That's the man.
And that's the sad thing about Jerry is he doesn't realize that like the characters in Seinfeld aren't great characters. They're not good people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes it funny too in the situations they get in. And he's basically playing himself. He has no idea that he is like in that
What's
that
the
mix
story?
there. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm
There's
trying
the
to say.
story of like him telling somebody like, you know why there's a black card? It's because of me. And he was on set and he tells the story that like a camera guy said to him like, oh, do you got the black card? And he's like, no, what's that? And he's like, oh, supposedly there's only 3 in the world, and like there's this king in another country has one and this other person has one, and I thought you would have been like the most important person, the third most important person to have one. And so he calls up American Express the next day, Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like, hey, what's this about the black card? Is Visa or American Express? American Express, right? And ended up that they gave him one. And he's like, yeah, that's because of me. And it's like, no, it wasn't. It was because of that camera guy,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, he told you, he brought you into that story and you took it.
That's a good point.
But
Here-
like, credit where credit is due.
Here is, I don't understand Jerry Seinfeld's comments at all, but how are you, Jerry Seinfeld, making comments about how you could never have a show like that today because of PC woke, and you're friends with Larry David, and he
he's
has
got a
Curb Your
show.
Enthusiasm.
Which
How
is-
are you that stupid?
Yeah, like that's insane, isn't it? Like he's been doing that show for like so long.
So now you know Seinfeld did that show and was not like, oh, this show isn't funny because the people are horrible and we're supposed to be looking at how horrible they are. He just saw it as, oh, they're, you know, I like their jokes.
That's what I was trying to say
Yeah,
earlier.
it's
Thank you.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. and-
How, I don't know how you can say you can't have a show like that today. Meanwhile, the man you've built your career with has a show right now that's doing that stuff.
It's so weird. It's just so weird. And he had his, you know, he had shows since then too. He did the Comedians in Cars thing, which is different, but like he had all his best friends on there and they
Yeah.
got to say whatever they want, talk about whatever they want, and it was fine. Like what is the problem? Like
They
why
just,
even,
it's not even, yeah.
they
like,
get to a certain
they,
age and they have to say something.
they don't
stupid.
want to have any pushback. They don't want to have any other viewpoints. They don't want to have anything other than free reign over whatever. And you still have all that. You can still say whatever you want, whenever you want. That doesn't mean people aren't going to not react to it. You can't just expect one reaction from everything. There's going to be people who are upset. Doesn't mean you got to change what you got to do. But yes, we're in a different time and era where people are coming to respect each other more and thinking like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And will it mean you have to change in some ways? Not necessarily. You could stay who you are. It might alter what happens to you and what jobs you get. But any of these people that are quote unquote canceled aren't canceled. They get support from the other side and pivot to a new thing, or nothing happens. Like Dave Chappelle is not canceled in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, look at the Louis C.K.
Yeah, not canceled at all. Sure, he took a while away to come back, but he also is making millions of dollars off his campaign. Or God, why do I keep saying that? Off of his tour. It made me so mad. It just made me so mad. And all of this is coming from, like you said, this promotion for this movie that, like,
Yeah, it's
Pop-Tarts movie is where you, I'll do the
That-
Pop-Tarts
I think-
press tour, by
I
the
think
way.
that's where
I'm mad we can't do racist jokes anymore.
I think that's where he's pushing for cancel stuff, because he wrote and made a movie about something that is now being boycotted.
Yeah.
And like, so that's probably something that is really upsetting him
Oh, I'm sure it is.
right now. And that's where he's just like, this is unbelievable.
This just
So-
popped up on my phone. I thought I'd bring it up. This is an outfit from Stellar Blade, obviously Kill Bill inspired. But there you go. That's an outfit. I'd like that one.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Showing too
not
much-
even saying that it's copying Kill Bill. Personally.
Showing too much neck. on
Looks
that.
fine.
But anyway, it's it's clothing. All right, everybody. We gave you more. We gave you too much
I
today.
gotta go.
But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. And we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
And we're